Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Edinburgh International Swim Meet incorporating the British Swimming Championships 2018. My name's John Mason. I'm going to be the host for the entire weekend, and joining me is a lady who has been in these athletes' positions many times before, the legend that is Becky Adlington. Becky, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
You excited for the weekend?
I am, yeah. Obviously, this is the last chance the guys that are going to the Commonwealth Games get to race, and obviously it's European Junior selection as well, so hopefully we should see some fast finals.
I'm certainly sure we are, and it's a little bit of a different format throughout this weekend. Of course, there's the two competitions, the international meet and the British Swimming Championships. But we've got some incredible athletes in the pool, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's amazing to see so many of the foreign guys coming over. We've got athletes from Germany, Spain, obviously Maria Belmonte, who has won numerous Olympic medals. So she's going tonight in the 400 medley. So hopefully it should be very quick.
Oh, it should be a lot of fun. And I know we were having a little chat before about sort of the Commie Games coming up in April. Some of these athletes won't have tapered yet, but some will have. So there might be some surprises out there, right?
I mean, everyone responds different, especially when they're in hard training. Some people can just swim fast all year round, and they're very, very lucky people. I was never one of those, and I'm sure some of these guys tonight, it'll be really, really tough racing for them, but most people just want to get in and have a good race and just use the tactics more than it is about the time.
Absolutely. It's something that I'm certainly looking forward to. Now, we did manage to, British Swimming, catch up with one of those athletes earlier. We're going to be having a chat more about them in a bit, but let's check out what James Guy had to say last week. Let's take a look.
2018 so far, we've got Commonwealth Games coming up and the European Champs in summer. We've got the British Championships at the start of March, and that's it so far. I mean, I suppose this year's kind of an off year. We're not really racing the Americans or the Chinese, so it's more about kind of building towards Tokyo and the World Championships in the coming years. So, I mean, the Commonwealth Games, there'll be swimming 7 events there, and it's kind of like a rerun for Tokyo. So it's practicing day in, day out, heats, finals.
So there you have it, one of those athletes that's going to be swimming tonight. He has a race in this evening, the 200 fly. He had a cracking year last year, though, didn't he, Becky?
I mean, he's just been flying for the past couple of years, to be honest, but he looks in great shape, and obviously this morning we saw him in the 200 metres butterfly, and it looks so easy for him. It just looks so smooth, so hopefully he can back that up tonight. I mean, he's always got a busy programme, James, and he's always one of those athletes that swims into a meet as well, so I'm pretty sure he'll just get faster and faster as this weekend goes on, and hopefully continue that into the Commonwealth Games.
Absolutely. He's certainly one that I always love to watch in the pool, but it's not just him. There's lots of other athletes we've got out there. Hannah Miley as well has a huge programme this weekend, 9 events this weekend.
She's always racing like the whole entire programme.
I don't know how she does it.
I know, she is a machine, an absolute machine, but Hannah's just, again, one of those athletes that just gets stuck in. She races pretty solid all year round, and someone that I was impressed with this morning, Abby Wood, she looks so smooth this morning in that 400 metres medley as well, which Maria Belmonte's in, Amy Wilmot, so hopefully that should be a really interesting final.
Yeah, it is. It's the one that's going to finish up the night as well. And you mentioned sort of Abby Woods coming in, one of those youngsters coming up. You must sort of be quite excited seeing that change in British swimming. Obviously, there's those big names, but lots of youngsters that are coming through to keep an eye out for.
I know, it's one of those that every Olympic cycle, a new crop of athletes come through, and it's one of those that now I don't know anyone, but at the same time it's nice because, I mean, this morning we saw a number of like 14-year-olds coming through, and for Abby it's great. This will be her first Commonwealth Games that she's going into, and she just is one of those people that she's a ballsy, gutsy swimmer, and that's what I really like about her. She's technically amazing as well, so I think she's got a bright career and definitely one to watch on the road to Tokyo.
Absolutely. Another race we've got in this evening, of course, that 100 metre free. It's going to be a fantastic one. I'm really excited for it. We've got Stephen Milne in that one. He was looking good this morning, as well as Duncan Scott.
Yeah, no, the 100 freestyle is one of my favourite races. It's just always just jam-packed, and I mean, you've got so many guys in there that you could even mention. Stephen Milne, Duncan Scott, like you said, those guys are definitely the ones to watch, but it's be interesting because with taper and with resting back comes that easy speed. So it is difficult to get in on some of the sprint events and have that kind of smooth speed. It's always a bit more hard work when you're in heavy training, but they'll all want to be, where possible, to get under that 50 seconds mark.
Absolutely. I know this is sort of like the lead up to the Commonwealth Games. This is their last sort of race meet before that. You were in this position numerous times. How do they sort of prepare? This is the last race. You know, what will be going through these athletes' heads as they're sort of coming into this one?
I think for them it's just about getting amongst the race, really, and it's more about tactics. That I don't think they'll be worrying about times at this time of year. I mean, there's still 5 weeks to go. They haven't even started their taper. They'll still be hurting, and yeah, so they've still got a lot of their preparation to go yet. So it's about staying illness and injury free, and I think most people are just glad that they've made it here with the snow.
I know.
Let alone about what time they do.
I'm glad we all did, you know. Look, absolutely cracking races tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So wherever you're watching from, if you're at home, it's now time to sit back and get comfy because we are going to be getting the action happening in just a moment. But don't forget, we would love to hear from you throughout the entire weekend. And the hashtag across all social media is hashtag EISM. I got that right. Hashtag EISM18. So do join the conversation online. You got any questions? You got anything you want to comment on throughout the races? Get in touch. But sit back, get comfy, and we'll see you in a bit.
Evening session of the first day at the Royal Commonwealth Pool. This is what we have for you. We have the fastest heat of the 1500 metres freestyle with Wales' Daniel Jervis, the favourite to win that. 100 butterfly for women, then the 100 free for men. 200 free finals with the juniors and B Open as well. 200 butterfly, 50 backstroke, and then we'll see the skins. We'll talk more about that later in the competition. And the women's 400 metres individual medley finals at the back end of the programme. That's how it looks for the next couple of hours, we would think. And of course, we are looking for qualification places for the European Juniors, which takes place in the summer in July. And there are some very, very tough times that our juniors have to achieve. Give you an idea, the opening race of the afternoon will be the 1500 freestyle for men. 2 juniors going in it. Nathan Hughes will go in lane 1 and Sam Elsborn in lane 8. Now, the target time for both of them is considerably quicker than they have ever been before. 15:33.57. Well, so Nathan's done a 15:46 and Sam's done a 15:48. But we do know, of course, at that age, in an event like the 1500, have you got your breath back? Can I talk to you?
I have, yes, sorry.
Good. So,
I just ran back.
No, I want to give you some time to get your breath back, but being the honed and trained athlete you still are, you're not even gasping for breath. Brilliant.
Well, it was a it was a steady jog.
Oh, okay, all right. I was just discussing, or talking about before you arrived, how big a task it's going to be for quite a few of our juniors to get the times for the summer, because these are not easy times. In fact, looking through our lineup this afternoon, I think there's probably about 4 swimmers in the juniors who have actually achieved the target times they're looking for today.
Yeah, I mean, when we were writing them down before, we all commented going, oh, that one's quite tough, that one's quite tough. And we were quite surprised, and it is really tough. But like we've said this morning in the heats, they will have rested for this, they will have tapered for it, and that's why it is an interesting meet this. We've obviously got the international guys, the juniors are fully rested. The people that didn't make the Commonwealth team, they're tapered and rested because it is the British Women Championships and they want to get on the podium. And then for the Commonwealth Games guys, they won't have rested at all, so
no.
they'll be in really...
And kind of alludes to what you were talking about earlier on, that might even things up a bit. When we'll see, for example, in the 100 freestyle, we'll see Duncan Scott, who's actually in lane 1. We wouldn't expect to see Duncan Scott, British champion, and also the British record holder, in lane 1 for a final.
Yeah, very true. Outside smoker, though.
Definitely, and fastest qualifying for that was Lewis Burrows, who is the junior we're talking about, who needs to get a 50.18. He did a 50.09 this morning, so 50.09 will get in there.
Definitely. I think that they would hopefully a little bit faster tonight anyway, with it being an evening. Hopefully we'll see more and more of the juniors getting those qualifying times that they need.
Now, unlike some other events, we are having international swimmers in the British national finals. Sometimes they have to go and swim elsewhere, or they're allowed to do heats and then not do the finals. But here, they're actually being allowed to do the finals.
Yeah, I mean, they won't be on the podium, so it'll be one of those that when we come to the medal ceremonies, they will just be British athletes. But for this meet as well, which is really interesting, there is prize money, so the internationals can still get the prize money, which I'm sure they're more than happy with.
That's probably why they're here.
And they'll take that, yeah, 100%. But obviously, with it being the British Women Championships, they won't be on the podium.
When it comes to the introductions, we're doing the old 8-1, 7-2, 6-3, 5-4 syndrome here, I think. Kira Bird of Millfield will be in 7. As I mentioned, Sam Osborne, one of the 2 juniors going for that target time. There's Miguel Duran of Spain, one of 2 Spaniards we'll see in this field. He's got a 15.20 to his name. Albert Eskrit, who will be in lane 3, has a 15.13. Here comes Sam Budd of City of Sheffield, 15.18.30. Nice walk to pool deck, and he'll be looking to shave some time off that. Here's the second of our Spaniards I mentioned, Albert Eskritz, 15.13.89. From Bath, up next is Tom Derbyshire with some rocking tunes. He comes on the pool deck with a 15.02, so he's looking to break 15 for the first time here. He's a man who's done it on several occasions, getting ready for the Commonwealth Games in a few weeks' time. Wales's Daniel Jervis, 14.51. Now, if he's kind of where we think he is in terms of preparation for the Gold Coast, 14.51 might be a bit of a stretch today.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a little bit harder for the distance guys just because they will be in solid training and still 5 weeks to go. So that is a long time, actually, because you don't start your taper, especially for these distance guys, at least till 2-3 weeks out before. So they will be doing their last bit of preparations now. So I wouldn't necessarily expect Daniel to be going for a PB, but you never know.
No, we'll see. And there is no junior final in this, and there's no B final. So we'll go straight into this, and all the other events will have junior B and A finals, and we will talk more about the skins a little later on. Becky and I are a little bit trepidatious about the skins because we haven't seen them for about 15 years, so it might be a bit of a revelation to us when they happen, and they will happen later in the session in the 50 backstroke for men and for women. So a lot of questions, a lot of observations to be made about the 1500 meters freestyle for men. Here's what kind of shape is Daniel Jervis in going into the Gold Coast? Can Tom Derbyshire get under 15 minutes? Can Sam Budd, is one of the up-and-coming swimmers at Sheffield, shake things up a bit? And what will we expect from our Spanish swimmers? And indeed, how will they attack this? Well, Daniel Jervis, a bit like most of the British 1500 metres freestyle swimmers these days, does tend to go up quite hard from the start and try and accelerate through.
Yeah, I mean, each of these athletes will have different tactics. I mean, we are missing athletes like Stephen Milne, Tim Shuttleworth that you would expect to be in there, but obviously they've chosen to sit this one out, and they'll be racing obviously the rest of the weekend. So it's one of those that they kind of get an open opportunity here. They didn't have to race the heat this morning, so they've all hopefully had a nice lie-in, feel a little bit more rested and ready for tonight. But straight away, the field are split already. It's one of those that, do you go out hard, do you just wind it up and kind of keep with that momentum? We saw in the heats this morning that the leader just kept changing all the time, as obviously it's a long way to go.
Well, we are looking for the next generation of 1500 freestyles. We were talking about that. There's quite a few around who are around the 15-minute mark, and maybe we will see Tom Derbyshire go under that. He's with Bath University. And Sam Budd with a 15.18. Well, he's taking on Daniel Jervis early in this. He's in 2 lanes up from him in lane number 6. Jervis with a 14.51. We'll also keep an eye on this side of the pool because Nathan Hughes and Sam Osborne in lanes 1 and 8 know they've got a very hard target time to reach if they want to get to the European Juniors. 15.33.57. Jervis, we would expect him to probably be splitting 60-61 on these.
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to know kind of how much people have rested back. Also, we have had obviously the snow issue, so you don't know what his journey was like yesterday, which does obviously play a part in these guys' preparations. And if they were sat in a car for 8 hours, they're probably not feeling tip-top, but at the same time, they're here to race and they'll want to put in a good performance, especially Daniel, obviously ahead of the Commonwealth Games. The rest of the world are watching. Everyone kind of checks everyone's results around the world, so everyone will be taking note about what Daniel's doing, how he's looking, the form he's in. They'll be watching probably right now.
Right, 157.49 at 200. We'll keep a close watch on that. We'll also keep a very close watch on Miguel Duran of Spain. He's got a 15.20, but he's had a pretty good start. And Sam Budd maybe just easing off a little bit, went out quite quick at the start. Was alongside Daniel Jervis at the 100, and also at the 150, but now is just a little bit back off Jervis. Jervis wanting to prove maybe that he is the #1 1500 metres freestyle, because we don't have an out-and-out #1 in Britain at the moment, do we? It's come at 2 or 3 about the same times.
Yeah, we were talking about this morning, obviously after David Davis in 2004. We've always had a really good history of distance swimmers, and then we had Daniel Fogg, Jack Burnell. We've kind of had people kind of up there, but never somebody that's quite got kind of that world and Olympic medals. So hopefully there'll be some of these guys coming through. I mean, you have got the guys in here that are 17, 18 years old that can hopefully progress. But obviously Daniel is a really, really strong swimmer as well. I've sat down with Daniel a few times, and he's just such a lovely guy as well. He's so passionate about the sport. He loves what he does. He works hard as well. So I'm pretty sure the medaling at the Commonwealth Games in a few weeks' time will definitely be on his radar.
At the moment, he's repping about a 60.5 per 100, so that's okay. The nearest challenger to him is a couple of lanes up in Miguel Duran of Spain. The British challenge just seems to have dropped off a little bit, which is a bit surprising, because I thought we might see Tom Derbyshire with a 15.02 in the mix. We've got a long way to go, of course, yet, and there's still time for them to get back, but Jervis doesn't look like if he is halfway through his training and perhaps going through a taper. No indication of that. So this could be a 3.58, so yeah, exactly that. He's doing pretty much a 60.5 every 100 at the moment.
I think Daniel's got such a lovely technique. I think when you look at every different athlete and how they swim technically, Daniel's very, very long. He's got a consistent kick. He almost does a slight catch-up in his stroke, but actually he just looks really efficient. He looks really smooth. It doesn't look like he's really trying, which of course he is. I'm not saying he's taking it easy, but I think that's the art of distance swimming, isn't it? Is making it look effortless and making it look easy, and especially when you've got so many lengths to do as well. You want to be as efficient as possible, and Daniel certainly does that with the way he swims, and hopefully he'll leave enough in the tank as well to be able to come back nice and strong and just up that leg kick a little bit more down that last 100 meters. But at the minute he looks really, really smooth.
He does, so we should be looking around about a 3.59.5 if he's keeping up with 60.5s at the turn. Let's see whether he's going to be there or thereabouts. So still nearest challenger is Miguel Duran. So yeah, absolutely spot on. Still 60.5 every single 100 for Daniel Jervis, still on the 5-minute mark at the moment. Sam Osborne and Nathan Hughes, as I mentioned, the two juniors in the field. Obviously their ambition is to get under a time which is 15.33. That's going to take some doing for the 18-year-old from Hatfield and the 17-year-old from the city of Birmingham, but this field is very much spread. Look at that. Big gap between 1 and 2, huge gap between 2 and 3, and lesser gap between 3 and 4. But Dan Jervis has still got an advantage of around about 3/4 of a second over Miguel Duran. And the next of the Brits is Tom Derbyshire at 5.34, but on that kind of form, he's not going to go under 15, sadly.
No, he's kind of slipped off the pace a little bit there, and I think when the gap gets a little bit too big, it's hard to claw that back over distance swimming. And for Daniel, obviously, he has been really, really consistent. That's what being a distance swimmer is all about, is kind of just that military, boom, the same times each one. He'll be doing kind of sessions at training, doing 3100s, holding the same time. That's part and parcel of their training. So it doesn't look like Daniel's going to slip off that pace anytime soon. So these guys have got a lot of work to do, and just kind of we'll see if they rev it up kind of as the 1500 progresses.
Jervis has been pretty much metronomic since the first 100. 60.5, 60.6, 60.5, 60.6. There or thereabouts at 60.5 every time. And which also indicates that Miguel Duran's about the same, because he's still the same gap behind, about 0.6 of a second.
He'll definitely just be using him as well. It's kind of, that's the art of distance swimming, is just kind of stay on someone's feet a little bit and then try and pick it up that last 100 meters and conserve energy. But they're not in the next lane to one another, so it doesn't work quite as well when they're not kind of side by side. But at the same time, he'll definitely be just keep him on his radar. They'll be able to see each other as well and just keep an eye out and spotting that. Obviously, this is the British Championship, so even if Miguel does catch him, Daniel obviously will still win it and be British champion. But yeah, it's one of those that Daniel will definitely want to win. These guys are born racers, and they'll definitely want to get their hand on the wall first.
Kersey's a 60.8, slowest 100 so far.
We've jinxed him. We've jinxed him.
I say he was right on 60.5 every time. 60.8. It's hardly much, is it? But you can see visibly the.
He's having a rest now.
Well, you think that, but look at the gap. The gap is now opened up a bit between 1 and 2. Gap between Jervis and Duran is now a second, 2 seconds in fact. So he did whatever Duran did. He was going backwards, and Daniel may be aware of the presence as he came back there, just looking at the Spaniard. Just kicking on a little bit, so yeah, just over the 7-minute mark it was when he turned last time. So we'll be looking for around about an 8:01, maybe 8:01.5 when he turns this time. Perhaps he's getting a little bit slower. 8015. Yeah, bang on. 8015 it is. Second, Miguel Duran, and third will be Tom Derbyshire with an 808. So he's quickening up a little bit. Remember, he's still looking to go under 15 for the first time. 15:02.12 is his best. To do that, he's going to have to up his stroke rate just a little bit, but you can actually see him in the picture now, whereas we couldn't before.
I tell you what really helps when you're doing an event like a 1500 is you see all the swimmers and the coaches lined up on poolside, really spurring you along. And obviously, it is difficult when you are so far ahead, and that's what happens with the distance events. You are very spread out. It's not a fingernail of a difference between first and eighth, is it? So having these guys all there on poolside, all cheering them on, will definitely be helping Daniel and some of the other guys that are out there on their own and have no one chasing them. They're all waving each other on. You can just see them in the shot there now, and that really does help. It makes a massive difference.
Now, you've done the 1500 yourself on a few occasions. What are you thinking at this stage, especially when you're that far ahead of the rest of the field? Because you're not going to worry about the racing because there's nobody else in your slipstream and you can't see anybody else. What are you thinking? You're thinking, did I leave the gas on? What am I having for dinner? Have I booked that holiday for the summer yet? What are you thinking?
A bit of everything. I'm not going to lie to you. For an event like this, for Daniel, obviously it's not his major championships. He'll be focusing on some things that his coach has told him, whether it's stroke count or stroke length or doing something. This is the opportunity that he can play around with tactics or working on something that is your weakness, whether his weakness is his turns or his underwater. He'll be focusing on that. But you can't help but maybe sometimes think about what you're going to have for dinner.
Let's see how close he gets to the 10. Because remember, we're saying he's around about 60.5 per 100, which means he'll be around about 15:08, 15:09. He keeps on that base. He won't be a 14:51. We certainly didn't expect him to get anywhere near that today.
I think Miguel's getting a little bit tired now. He's kind of slipped off the pace a little bit. Daniel's kind of made that gap a little bit longer, a little bit wider. He kind of didn't like him being sat there, did he?
No, he didn't, and the gap is now 5 seconds, or very nearly, at 5.3 seconds between 1 and 2. Tom Derbyshire not really making any inroads, not big inroads anyway, 10-11 at that stage, so we'll have 500 to go at this stage, or did have when they turned. It'll be 450 this time. As you can see, appreciably, that gap is lengthening, it's getting bigger, as seemingly Dan Jervis is getting stronger back in the race. The question now is, can Tom Derbyshire overtake Miguel Duran with 450 to go?
Definitely, it's definitely possible. It's just how much he's got left in the tank, if he turns his legs on, how tired Miguel is as well. That will definitely come into play. But yeah, it's really hard because you just don't know, with being that kind of fourth lane over, whether or not how well you can see them. Sometimes it does just become a little bit of splash and you can't quite tell when you're that far apart. It's easy when you're in the next lane, but when there's a couple of lanes difference, it is a lot harder.
Well, visibly the gap is getting smaller. Let's see what it is time-wise between second and third. 109 plays 112, so it's about 2.5 seconds he's got to make up on the Spaniard. There's absolutely no doubt who's going to win this. Question is by what kind of margin, indeed by what kind of time. We can see from the 22-year-old from Swansea Aquatics, Dan Jervis is extending that lead, looking more positive with every stroke, getting closer to that 15 minutes as well. He won't be too shy of that. Might be 15:03, 15:04 at the current rate. But the gap you can see between 1 and 2 is up to 7 seconds now. The gap between second and third, yeah, it's not really eating into that very much, Tom Derbyshire, at the moment. So whatever he's doing, he's not doing quite enough to get closer to Miguel Duran, 22-year-old from Spain.
Tom hasn't even turned his legs on yet. He's got stuff left.
Can't leave it too late, though, can he?
No, you can't. But hopefully he'll kind of start to pick up his leg kick. And like I said, you just don't know whether he can even see him or not. It is one of those that is difficult when you are that couple of lanes apart. But it might be a little bit too much of an ask to close that gap. But it's still a solid race.
Exactly 4 seconds between the Spaniard and Tom Derbyshire in third place. But long since gone, virtually in a race of his own, virtually in a length of his own now, is Dan Jervis, who will turn now with 5 to go, 5 lengths to go at 12:33. So yeah, he's getting closer to that 15. I think it's going to be about 15:03, 4, 5, somewhere in that kind of range, which is, say, where he is in terms of preparation for the Gold Coast, I think he'd be pretty happy with.
I think that would be a great time for Daniel. Give him a confidence boost going into the Commonwealth Games, that he knows he can drop under that 15 mark, obviously, when it gets to the Commonwealth Games. But to be in this sort of shape right now, I'd definitely take that.
Well, he's going to turn in 13:03. Bear in mind that normally 1500 meters freestyle swimmers come back strongest in their last leg, last 100 meters. Should be on for a 15 or thereabouts, shouldn't it?
You'd think so. It depends how much he's got left. You don't know his tactics coming into this. And because he is so far ahead as well, he might not actually go kind of all crazy on that last 100 meters, but hopefully he will start to wind it up and want to kind of finish really, really strong, like you say, and have a good back end.
Well, if you just tuned in, that's not a time trial, but it looks like it, because Jervis is so far ahead of everybody else in the pool. There are other swimmers, and there's one. In fact, now the gap between second and third has closed considerably, but not enough, I don't think, for Tom Derbyshire to make a real crack, or maybe he can at Duran. It's still 4 seconds. That's going to take a lot of doing. Last 100, and the most pleasant sound in swimming, according to Rebecca Adlington, is what we're going to hear in just a few seconds' time.
Oh, that bell. There is no greater sound to a distance swimmer than that bell.
School's out. Go home now. 14:03, so yeah, it's going to be around about 15:03. Hopefully, maybe he'll do a 58:59 last 100. Looks like Miguel Duran is holding on for a second. The gap is down to 2.5 seconds, though. So come on, Tom Derbyshire. If you get a move on here, you can make this quite an interesting finish for second and third. The battle has never really been a battle for first place, because this man has dominated pretty much from the off. Jervis has got a huge lead with 50 to go. All he's worried about now is what the clock's going to say. Look, it's going to be about 25 meters by the time he comes back. That's how big the lead is between him and the rest. Now, he'll be able to get close to that 15. It's a good marker for him. Let's see how close he can get.
Daniel's just looks so smooth. He's just totally in control from the start. So he should be really, really pleased with this performance.
Just outside the 15, but 15:01.87 is a really good time for this time of the year, and will put people on notice for the Gold Coast. So he's going to go considerably quicker there. Second place will go to Miguel Duran, coming in now in a 15:48. And that's a 5-second PB according to our stats here. Tom Derbyshire, 15:19, might be a little bit disappointed with that, because, as you say, depends what kind of shape he's in terms of preparation. Albert Eskritz of Spain in third, and it doesn't look like we're going to see... Sam Osborne. No, he's still got another one to go. He was 8th there. So, but we can say Nathan Hughes has got it.
Woo!
Nathan Hughes of Hatfield has done a personal best, which gets him 45 hundredths inside the time he needed.
That is a fantastic swimmer. That was a huge personal best for him. 13 seconds off his personal best, and that qualification time that he needed for the European Juniors in July. He is going to be over the moon with that performance.
Yeah, Nathan Hughes, 15:33.57 he required. And see the time he got, 15:33.12. Very tight. But somehow, some way, he pulled something out right at the end. Though he's 5th on your screen, he'll be the man who'll be going to the European Juniors in the summer. Sam Osborne just couldn't quite get there. Only just broke the 16-minute barriers. Entry time 15:48. But well done, Nathan Hughes. And Hatfield can celebrate tonight. Right, we're going junior B final, then A final of the 100 meters butterfly. And there is only one swimmer in here, and she's not in the junior final, she's actually in the main final. Emily Large has actually done the time required to go to Finland for the European Juniors, which is 60.37. Very talented swimmer from the Northeast. They rate her very highly, and I think she's starting to prove why they rate her so highly, because she does consistent swims time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, that European Junior qualification time of 60 point is a really fast time for these guys. So the junior final that is up now, they were about 2 seconds off this morning. So hopefully we might see a few people drop and kind of post a good qualifying time. But obviously Emily doing it this morning in the heat, she should absolutely fly and hopefully smash that time even more.
So the lineup for you for the junior final of the 100 meters butterfly: Lottie Wynne-Jones of City of Milton Keynes, to is Gaia Alcaraz of Aberdeen Performance, Jasmine McCree of Poole, there you go, there's your 1 to 8. Colchester represented by Sophie Freeman in 4, Yasmin Perry of Aberdeen in 5, Yenka Jonk of Netherlands in 6. Chefania Nunes, sounds like she should be Spanish, but she is Dutch, in lane 7. And Gabrielle Melbourne Smith of Warrington in lane 8. Junior final. See who the best of our juniors in this race is, but we have plenty of juniors coming in the B final and plenty of juniors in the, well, one particular in the A final. So won't necessarily be the fastest junior because just the kind of way it's worked out. We've got loads in the B final. We have Emily Large in the A final, but let's see who can come out best here. Keep an eye, we've been talking about the emergence of the 14-year-olds, haven't we, during the course of the day. Sophie Freeman of Colchester in lane number 4. Interested to see what she can do in this one.
It's amazing to see so many of the juniors coming through because these are the guys that are going to be kind of next Olympic cycle that is on everyone's radar. I mean, some of the juniors already will kind of, like your Freya Anderson, your Emily Large that we've spoke about, those guys will obviously be on for Tokyo, but some of the 14-year-olds are probably the next Olympic cycle. But it's always good to take note of who's where and doing what and kind of storming onto the scene.
Well, Sophie Freeman was 8th at the turn, but she ain't going to be 8th at the close of this race. She's not going to win it, however, but it's a very tight thing. And lane 6 is going to be just edged out by Gaia Alcaraz of Aberdeen. Finishes in 102.08. So that's a big improvement on this morning. Jasmine McRae, 102.16. And we were talking there about 14-year-old Sophie Freeman. Well, she was 8th at the turn and 4th at the end with a 102.37, which I make a 11/100ths improvement on her personal best.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are quite shy of the qualification time for the European Juniors, but at the same time, kind of solid performances and some improvements from this morning, which you've got to take. Yeah,
absolutely. B final up next, which will have representatives from Ellesmere College, Mount Kelly, Deepings, City of Leeds, Chiara Schlossen, who only just missed out on the A final, very tight to getting in there. Kiana McInnes of Heart of Midlothian, Kaylee Decker of Mount Kelly, and Caitlin Hubbard of City of Birmingham in lane 7, Macy Elliott in 8. And just to again mark your card, Emily Large, who isn't in either of the first 2 events, is a junior, and she'll be in the final, and will be pushing the likes of Alice Thomas, who we expect to win this, don't we? Even with the preparation she's got for the Gold Coast, you think, yeah, she's probably about a second quicker than everybody else on normal form, so probably enough in the tank to get this done.
Yeah, she looks fantastic this morning, but even this B final, I mean, there's only one person, Isabel, that's not a junior, so this is pretty much like another junior final, and then obviously we've got Emily Large going in that A final, but yeah, Alice just looked amazing this morning. She just looked so smooth, and I can't see anyone kind of really challenging her.
That's your B final lineup then. Pia Murray of Ellesmere in 1. 2 is Emily Hames of Mount Kelly. There you are, there's the details on the screen. We'll go through the details as they get underway. I expect Chiara Schlossen to probably be our winner here, but looking at the 101.04, likely to be pushed all the way by Kiana McInnes of Heart of Midlothian. B final of the women's 100 meters butterfly. Great program happening at Leeds at the moment. Chiara Schlossen is part of it. Some big junior names coming through, and it looks like the 2 centre lanes is where we need to look, including the yellow cap of Chiara Schlossen in 4.
This is a close final, isn't it?
Yeah, her and Kiana McInnes, kind of as we called it. Looks like it's going to be these two, certainly over the first 50 anyway, getting into 1 and 2, although also in the mix is Isabel St. Liv of Deepings. That should be Isabel Spinney. It's come up with a completely different name, but Isabel Spinney it is in 3. And in lane number 5, well, maybe this is going to be Kiana McInnes' day of Heart of Midlothian. Look how strong she is. What a fantastic finish from her. Chiara Schlossen's trying to keep pace with her every single stroke. It is the yellow cap we can see coming through, but she's going to be beaten by Kiana McInnes. 60.26, and that is a qualifying time for the European Championships. 1:00.56 is what she needed. and she's just done a 1:00.26.
It's
and
amazing.
Chiara has also done it.
Yeah, the two guys in there just absolutely smashed that. They can take two. Obviously, we've still got Emily Large to come as well. So there is 2 places, but there's also spots open that is to the coach's discretion as well, because obviously you have got the relays to consider. There is an open spot, so you never know. All 3 could be going.
Yeah, great swim by Chiara, who gets under the 61 seconds for the very first time. Chiara Slauson likewise, so well done to those 2. I'll be intrigued to see what Emily Large does. Final of the women's 100 meters butterfly. A Welsh record holder, Alice Thomas, going in lane 4. Siobhan Marie O'Connor of Bath University going in 6. And we've already seen 2 juniors get the time they need for the European Junior qualification. Just a few moments ago, Chiara Slauson and Kiana McInnes. Might well have 3 here, because Emily Large is looking to do the business tonight, as she did this morning with a 60.37. Only 2 swimmers in this field have actually been sub-60 before today. Harriet Jones, the City of Cardiff, and just up the road, another Welsh swimmer, Alice Thomas, at 58.95.
Be interesting to see what Siobhan's got in this event. Obviously, Siobhan has been very, very quick. She is one of those girls that is in the relay for butterfly. I mean, Siobhan could swim every leg in the relay, but Siobhan does step into that 100 metres butterfly, so it'd be interesting to see what kind of shape Siobhan is in. Obviously, medley being her favourite event, and obviously that's still to come this meet, but for her, Siobhan's always just super quick, and her skills, Siobhan's skills, I think, are just some of the best in the world. So definitely look at her start and turns, as I think she's the one to be copying.
And the thing's what now, 7 years since she made her international debut, 2011. 2011 when she made that tee for Shanghai.
I remember when we were at the Olympics and she was just a little baby in London 2012, and now she's Olympic silver medalist and what she's achieved in her career already, and she's still so young at 23, so she's got hopefully Tokyo in her sights as well.
And there she is from Bath University. We're going to get under the minute, see whether she can. Alice Thomas is certainly aiming for that. Harriet Jones as well. As coming on to pool deck now is Harriet West of Loughborough University. Now, she was right on the cusp of going under 60 this morning, 1:00.01, so not too far away from the sub-60 swim. Harriet Jones has been there, 59.87. And now the class act of the field. She won't mind me saying, the oldest swimmer in the field, at 28 years of age, Alice Thomas. But with all due deference, I'm just interested to see what Emily Large can do in this, because she's such a prodigious talent that you just think, yeah, she's a great racer too. She might just fancy knocking quite a big bit off that European Junior qualifying time, I think.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 of the 8 are all got Commonwealth Games coming up in 5 weeks' time, so I doubt any of them are fully rested for this, but they'll be definitely wanting to get amongst that mix, race fast, using those tactics and posting some fast times.
Well, let's see how they do it in terms of race tactics. I think Emily Large will go for it big, and will go for it early. Might surprise Alice Thomas, might surprise Harriet Jones, might surprise Siobhan Marie O'Connor. 17-year-old, youngest in the field in lane number 7. Obviously surrounded by lots of international swimmers who will be heading for the Gold Coast in weeks to come. And Siobhan Marie O'Connor trying to set the pace early on. And going with her every step of the way is Harriet Jones. Emily Large on the far side, just a little bit back off the pace at the moment. Looking for a 1:00.56, but she's not too far off the base, and this is going to be a bit of a blanket for the first 50. Getting to the wall first, it is surprisingly Tane Bruce with a 27.54.
It's pretty close, though. There's not much separating these guys, and Alice this morning, just the last 25 metres, but yeah, I mean, all of them are so strong. Siobhan is a little bit further down than you probably expect, but at the same time, these guys are in such hard training.
Well, let's see whether Harriet Jones can get this or Alice Thomas can get it, because they are both going for the wall pretty much together. It's going to be very tight between these two, and it is just Harriet Jones with the 28.85, winning it by 6/100ths of a second. Third place to Team Bruce with a 58.92. Emily Large, 59.60. That's a second inside what she needed.
Absolutely amazing, especially when she's not rested at all for this. She's going to be over the moon, obviously going to the Commonwealth Games already, but then going on to the European Juniors. Who knows, the Europeans in the summer as well that are in Glasgow. So she's going to have a busy year.
Yeah, certainly is. And good to see 7 out of 8 going, and the other one who isn't British anyway. So 7 Brits out of 7 going under 60. It's not bad, is it?
It's not bad, is it? I don't think I've ever been under 60. Have you?
Yeah, 60 minutes, yes. Yeah, I've done 60 minutes. But have you ever? You must have done 100 butterfly. You've done every stroke. You must have done every event at some point.
Yeah,
at least once.
Yeah,
just so you've done it.
Yeah, of course.
Because people say you've never done it. Well, actually, I have. I did that at a club meeting when I was 13.
County championships
yeah,
or something.
exactly. When they go, we haven't got anybody. Becky, do you fancy doing that? Not really. Well, we haven't got anybody else. All right then.
Yeah, why not?
Anyway, that was really good right across the board. Some good times, and so we've got 3 European junior qualifying times from that one event alone.
I'm so excited for this next event. 100 meters freestyle is one of my favorite events. Watching the guys do it, I just absolutely love it, because it's that mixture of, it is sprint, and you'll see this massive wave on the turn. Just watch the camera on that turn. There's just this, almost like one of those tidal waves that you get at the fun pool. It's that huge, because these guys are such big guys, and obviously going so fast, but it is a lot more about tactics. It's not like the 50 when they just go hell for leather. It is, there is a little bit more tactics to it. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, a lot of the wanting to post that time. It is quite quick. 50.1 is a very quick qualifying time for the juniors. Yeah. No one swam that this morning, so it is going to be a tough time to make. So hopefully they will.
Yeah. Well, we have some juniors sprinkled through the next 2 races as well. We have Harry Constantine in the B final, and we have a couple in the A final as well. But the juniors all together here. Representing the first club, City of Leeds, City of Leicester. We have our German swimmers, Raphael Miroslav in lane number 4, Luke Turley of Hatfield in 5, Adam Metcalf of Ellesmere in 6, Harry Stacey, Aberdeen Performance in 7, and Matthew Richards in lane 8 for Royal Wolverhampton, the youngest in the field at 16. And well, let's see who's going to try and make a charge for this. The early break coming from the German in lane number 4, and looking on the far side of the pool, Harry Stacey's had a good start for Aberdeen Performance. In fact, it will be the German, I think, just about from Harry Stacey, just edged on the touch by Adam Metcalf. Split time for the top Brit, 24.91. Now, see if they can even split. We'll kind of forget about the German here, because in terms of British interest, it looks like we're going to see Luke Turley of Hatfield. Look at him coming back strongly here in lane number 5. He's not wanting to be beaten by anybody, and Luke Turley is really turning it on. Turley's going to get there first as well. What a swim that turned out to be from the Hatfield swimmer. 51.14 for Luke Turley. So it's not quite the junior qualification time, but that is quite a big PB. If we go on 51.78 being his PB, then that's about half a second or more he's taken off that. That was a really great finish too. He
tactically raced that perfect. That's what I love about this event. I mean, the German went out so quick in a 24 and was just dominating the first 50, but he just swam it so cleverly and wasn't even looking at him. He couldn't even see him. He was breathing the other way, but obviously he kind of felt his presence and wanted to get his hand on the wall first. Great tactics.
Yeah, terrific finish by Luke Turley. Well done to him. Name to watch out for. 18 in by Hatfield, having a good day. And Nathan Hughes has qualified for the European Juniors in the 1500. And now Hatfield swimmers won that event. Hatfield having a very good session so far. As we move on to the B final. And, well, some fairly familiar names in here, like Callum Jarvis going in lane 1, for example.
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys, like we've been speaking about, they're kind of not rested back. We would expect Callum to be in that second final, in the Open final, but you've got Jarvis Parkinson in there as well, who's going to the Commonwealth Games, Cameron Curl, Jack Thorpe. So it is still solid. I mean, both of these finals, the B and the A final, are just jam-packed. It is going to be a fingernail difference between 1 and 8th, I think.
Callum Jarvis then in 1. There's the 1 to 8 for you. Ireland represented, Loughborough University, Stockport Metro, Edinburgh University. As we have Father Cameron, Jack. For all the swimmers here, Bath University, Cameron Curl, another Edinburgh swimmer, 28 years old now, Kieran McGuckin. He did a 51.22 this morning. And Harry Constantine, the only junior in this field from Hatfield. Another Hatfield swimmer going in lane number 8. A bit of a growth for Callum. That's I see Ross Murdoch early on. He hasn't shaved since December, so that'll be coming off pretty soon.
James Guy hasn't either.
No, hairy boys, but not for much longer. That's all going to come off the next few weeks as they prepare for the Commonwealth Games. Now, this could be a really intriguing race because there are 3 or 4 who could win this. And I want to see what the race tactics are. I'll tell you who's taking it out strongest is a swimmer in lane number 5. That's Jack Thorpe of Edinburgh. And he may well be the leader at 50, but as we saw from the previous race, Becky, leading at 50 doesn't mean you necessarily win it at 100.
Definitely not. Not over 100 metres. It's amazing how much... people don't die, do they? It's because it is only 100 metres, but at the same time, those guys that are suited a little bit more for the 200 metres definitely start to come back. But to be fair, Jack looks really, really strong here.
He does, and he might belie what I've just said because he is holding on very strong, the 24-year-old from Edinburgh University. I don't think anybody's going to head him, unless it's going to come from the far side of the pool, but no, I think he's got this one nailed all the way through. 50.38 for Jack Thorpe. So he's gone considerably quicker than he went this morning. Second is Kieran McGuckin. So Edinburgh 1-2 there. That'll please the patrons here. And third place to Carl Chisholm. And poor old Callum Jarvis in 8th place. What are you doing down there, Callum?
Callum is one of those people that, as we've been speaking about, people react differently mid-season racing, and I always think Callum is one of those that he's never particularly that quick mid-season, but actually at major games he always pulls it out the bag and he does always swim really well, so I'm pretty sure...
It's the beard. It's the beard.
Whatever it is, hopefully he won't be doing that at Commonwealth Games.
I think this is probably the event that Becky Adlington's been looking forward to most. We've had the hors d'oeuvre, we've had the junior version of this, we had the B final of this, but it's not often you see Duncan Scott in lane 1. Got to be absolutely honest. And there's some other big names in here as well, including Stephen Milne, who we highlighted for you early on. But Duncan Scott is the British champion, he is the British record holder, and he's in lane 1.
I know, but any lane,
there he is.
It doesn't matter. If you've got a lane, anything can happen. And obviously,
he's going to win this from lane 1, isn't he?
Well, the junior Lewis, actually, who didn't spot earlier, has actually got the qualifying time for the European Juniors already from this morning. And Federico down in lane 8, hopefully he can scrape that time. I mean, he's not far off it, 0.7 or 8 off that qualifying time. So hopefully we'll see these two juniors get back under that qualifying time. But yeah, I mean, with Duncan and Stephen in this, Duncan, I mean, I don't think he's going to be massively bothered that he's in lane 1, Bob.
All right, here's a question for you. How many are going to go sub 50 in this race?
Hopefully we'll see at least 2.
Okay.
It'd be good to see at least 2 of these guys scrape under that 50 mark, because that's what everyone wants to do, isn't it?
I wonder if Lewis Burris can actually go sub 50 for the first time himself, the junior, with a 50.09, I think was a PB this morning. So let's see whether he can get under the 50.
Well, I mean, he should be rested and tapered for this meet. He isn't going to the Commonwealth Games, so you would like to think that he hasn't got a beard. Oh, no, he hasn't got a beard. So, Bob, you're happy?
Well, no, it doesn't bother me either way, but it's just that you look at swimmers, they look like scruffs sometimes. You go, no, well, I've not got a big meet to come for a few weeks, so I can I could put my razor away and
Well, he shouldn't be swimming slow because he's got no beard.
and show how manly I am and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, Duncan Scott will go in 1, Daniel Jones of Swansea in 2, Jakob Karl of Hamilton will go in 3, Lewis Burris, we mentioned, the fastest qualifier for this final from Southport at 50.09. And if he does that tonight, well, he's on his way. One of our Olympic medalists from Rio, actually almost a length ahead of everybody else. 15.01.87. Let's see what the Welshman has to say to John.
Congratulations, Daniel. What a way to start your weekend. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very happy. I was very nervous for that. I'm not tapered at all, and I was literally just going in hoping to finish, to be honest with you.
I mean, you did incredibly well. You sort of attacked it, were out in front for the entire race. Was that your strategy going into it?
Yeah, I knew exactly what I had to do. Just go out strong and literally just hold it. And I think I'd done that quite well. So, yeah, I was really happy coming out of there.
You did brilliantly. Well, look, good luck, mate. Congratulations once again. And hopefully we'll see you on the podium again at Com Games. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Jarvis!
Up next, we have the women's 200 meters freestyle. After we've had the medal ceremony for the women's 100 meters butterfly, which was quite a race, actually, between the two Welsh swimmers, Alice Thomas and Harriet Jones. And Emily Large, well, she went sub-60 to get her junior qualification time for the Europeans as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see so many of the juniors coming through, because these guys, well, hopefully we'll see some going to Tokyo, but these are definitely the ones to watch for the next Olympic cycle, and great to see so many coming through. It's amazing that just the British, like, we have that depth here. I mean, a couple of years ago we didn't have the depth that we do now, so it's definitely moving in the right direction.
No, it wasn't. That's a preliminary time. Her finals time, she's beaten by 6 100s. That was time. For 2018, from City of Cardiff, 21-year-old Harriet Jones, and she went a full second quicker from heats this morning to the final, 58.
The Welsh teammate over here, did that push you on? Give it up for Harriet Jones!
On to the junior final of the women's 200 meters freestyle. And then we'll have a few juniors in the B final. Actually, no juniors in the A final this time around, so no complication with that. In terms of the qualification time for the Europeans, we are looking at 2:01.12. Do we have anybody in the field? Freya Anderson should be capable of doing that, shouldn't she?
Hopefully she can drop that. I mean, Freya is more of a 100 swimmer than she is a 200 swimmer, but you've got Freya and Rachel going in the B final. That
final then of the 200 meters freestyle. Georgina Dennis of Mount Kelly in 1, Laura McNabb of Team Bath in 2, 3 is Mia Slevin of Davencio, Jemima Hall of Wickham District in 4, Leah Crisp of City of Leeds in 5, Millie Sansom of Wickham District in 6, Imani de Jong of Netherlands. He reckons she'll come in tonight and give it a good go. And she is in lane number 2, looking at the top end of your...
The past couple of years, it has slipped off. So it'll be interesting to see what these girls, because hopefully these girls are the generation to bring them all back and hopefully get the 4x2 back on form for next Olympic cycle, if not this one. So it is obviously separated at the minute with 1 and 2 and then 7. But Laura at the top end of your screen is having a fantastic start so far.
Well, here's the first 100 of the 200 completed. And it is Jemima Hall, the junior, who has turned in first place. Imana de Jong in second. Imana de Jong of the Netherlands on the far side in lane number 7. And Laura McNabb of Team Bath in lane number 2.
So I doubt they can see one another, but yeah, they're both having a fantastic race, and the rest of the field obviously has slipped back off. But like you said earlier, that you had a coach, he had a chat with Laura's coach, who said she had more in the tank for tonight, and she's certainly proving that.
Yeah, she's 2:04.42 this morning. I think she's going to go considerably quicker than that in the final, and she's going to win the junior final. She's going to hold off the Dutch woman on the far side. What kind of time? 2:02.98 for Laura McNabb, so she's gone a second and a half quicker from the heats to the final. Imana de Jong of the Netherlands in second, Leah Crisp with a 2:03.37. Well, it's not quite the 2:01.12 she needed for the European juniors, but it's a sizable chunk of what she did earlier today.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a tough race to be in, weren't they? Because they were both at the other end of the pool, but she should be really happy with that. Even though it wasn't the qualifying time, she still put in a great performance there, and she's definitely one to watch for the future, like we said.
Could be a bit of an outside smoker in the B final as well. Camilla Hattersley finds herself in lane 1. We know how good she is and how potentially she could probably take this field on. Freya Anderson with a 2:02.36. In fact, look at the times from this morning. Mighty tight, wasn't it? There's only one in 2:03. All the others are 2:02 in this final.
Yeah, very, very spread out. I mean, then you've got down in lane 8, Rachel, who is only 16 from Millfield. So she and Freya obviously will be going for that European Junior qualifying time. Rachel isn't going to Commonwealth, so Freya isn't as rested, won't be as easy for her tonight, but hopefully she can get that time. But for Rachel, she will be fully rested, hopefully, for this meet. So we wanting to put in another huge PB and see if she can get on at least a 2:02 and get a personal best.
Yeah, 2:01.12 to remind you is time. She has by a full second. What a great swim that is. 1:59 dead, and she's won that by 2.65 seconds in the end, with Laura Riemann in second place. And third place, in fact, a joint second for Riemann and Munoz. 1:59 for Lucy Hope, who went 2:02.37 this morning. She's taken over 3 seconds off her heat time this morning.
Fantastic swim by her. No one else was even with her. Freya and obviously Rachel in there, that were the 2 juniors. They were quite a bit off that qualifying time, but obviously, like we said, Freya should hopefully get the 100 metres time, because that is her preferred event. So hopefully she'll still go to the European Juniors, just not on the 200 metres freestyle.
Now we have an interesting scenario here, potentially, that somebody who wins a B final could get the quickest time here. 1:59, because you know, Ellie's preparing for Commonwealth Games. Catherine Greenslade is too. So I wonder whether 1:59 might be a winning time here.
Well, Catherine this morning went at 1:59. Granted, it was a 1:59.6, but you'd hope to swim a little bit faster in the evening. So it is a jam-packed final. I mean, this morning for the heats, they were more spread out, whereas tonight, I don't think it's going to be as spread out for these guys. You've got Siobhan Maria Connor back in the pool, Maria Belmonte, who is just always a tough racer. Then obviously Catherine, Ellie. You've got Holly Hibbert in there as well, who's going to the Commonwealth Games. Again, it's not Holly's favoured event. She is better at the 400 and 800, but I think Holly will be wanting to post a decent time, as obviously there is always those relay spots that is always in the back of these girls' minds.
Well, let's see. The 1:59 has been laid down from the B final. Melanie Costa for Spain will be in 1. Siobhan Maria O'Connor in 2. And there's Maria Belmonte of Spain. We normally see her in the 400 IM.
You normally see her in every race.
Yes.
She's not.
I kind of associate her with the 400 IM.
Yes,
though.
but then 200 butterfly, she always manages to win that and crawl back. And she's had so many shoulder injuries as well, Maria Belmonte. She's kind of really suffered through it, but actually she's bounced back every single time, even if she's had kind of a tough meet. She's one of those people that swim into the meet all the time, so she's always one to watch.
Yeah, she'll be going in 3. Catherine Greenslade of Edinburgh in 4. Ellie Faulkner of City of Sheffield in 5. Holly Hibbert of Stockport in 6. Georgia Coates, Bath 7. And Madeline Crompton of Stockport Metro in lane number 8. This is a wide open field, this one. Got, in terms of the heat times this morning, lots around the 2-minute mark. So the gauntlet laid down by Lucy Hope in the previous final. 1:59 for the 21-year-old from Edinburgh. Let's see how many of these can get. She could still get a medal, actually. Even if she doesn't get the fastest time, she still could be in the top 3 here with that 1:59.
It would definitely woken these girls up in the call room, that's for certain.
Costa, O'Connor, Belmonte, Greenslade, Faulkner, Hibbert, Coates, Crompton. Representing Spain, Bath, Spain again, Edinburgh, City of Sheffield, Stockport Metro, Bath University and Stockport Metro. Well, look at this. We did say it might be tight. I think there's only one swimmer who's not in the line, and that is the swimmer in lane number 3, Maria Belmonte, at the moment, I should say.
Yeah, she'll wind up, don't worry. She hasn't got the best start, and to be honest, when you're next to Siobhan Maria O'Connor, she makes everyone look like they've got a bad start just because she is so good off her starts.
Well, leader at the 50, as we kind of expected she might be, is Ellie Faulkner. But she hasn't broken the back of the field or anything like yet, because look what's happening. Siobhan Maria O'Connor is coming back. Melanie Costa's coming back, and only, I say at the moment, Belmonte's
Catherine.
just, Catherine
She looks amazing, just really, really smooth, just so dominant already, and she's swam that really, really well. Go out with the field the first 50. She's kind of brought it back, and now the gaps are kind of starting to open up a little bit. Siobhan obviously has done the 100 metres butterfly already, so Siobhan's probably a little bit tired, but yeah, Ellie and Catherine in the middle there, but Catherine just looks super strong. She's kind of going hell for leather with her legs there, and she definitely wants to get her hand on the wall first for this one.
Well, in front of a home crowd, why wouldn't she? She wants to entertain them, and doesn't get often a chance to race the British nationals in her home pool, so she's making full advantage of it here. And look at the gap. The gap is over 1.5 seconds between Greenslade and Faulkner. Third place is Holly Hibbert, and Maria Belmonte's slid into 4th place, and here she comes.
We could see Lucy Hope getting second with that 1:59.0 that we've just seen, so definitely keep an eye on the clock. But Belmonte's coming through now, like you always expect her to on that last length, that she's always a back-end speed person, Belmonte, but I don't see anyone touching Catherine out.
1:58.53, so yes, she'll get second place. Will Lucy Hope with her winning time in the B final. Catherine Greenslade, however, goes quicker and goes quite a bit quicker at 1:58.53. But yeah, not Ellie Faulkner's day. She went over 2 minutes a day, which is very un-Ellie-like in the final.
Yeah, it is, but for Catherine, that is a fantastic swim at this point in her preparation. I mean, to be swimming a 1:58, it's definitely going to wake some of the Australian girls up ahead of the Commonwealth Games, and just a fantastic, she just looked so in control there. I mean, she just went with the fields the first 50 and just kind of then stormed ahead after that, and no one was catching her really down that back end.
Siobhan, 2:02.63, no worries about that, particularly it's not her real event, is it?
No, Siobhan's always been plagued by illness, and I know she's had her tonsils out at the back end of last year as well. And Siobhan, bless her, she has just swum the 100 metres butterfly, and she's got a tough meet. And obviously, Belmonte, will see her later on in the programme doing that 400 metres medley as well.
We shall. On to the men's 200 metres butterfly. We'll have the junior final first. Now, the time that's required is a very quick one. That's a problem for our juniors. That's another reason that maybe that event hasn't moved on too much, is the time they now have to achieve is so tough. It's 1:59.93, and I can't see anybody in this field getting close to that.
That is super, super tough time, and we kind of spoke about that this morning, that selection times, even for the seniors as well as the juniors, is always so tough for the butterfly, which we thank Mr. Phelps for.
Yeah.
But it does affect, and that's probably why people aren't specialising in it, because it is super, super quick just to even make these teams.
So the lineup for event 105, men's 200 metres butterfly: Santos Villalon of Millfield, Sam Daly of Mount Kelly in 2, Max Jameson of Thanet Swim goes in 3, Ben Hooper of Hillingdon in 4, Charlie Hutchison of Ellesmere in 5, Edward Mildred of Northampton 6, 7 is James Woodward of Hatfield, and Matthew George, City of Salford. In terms of the times this morning, Ben Hooper with a 2:04.6. I think he'll probably go a bit quicker than that. I think he will go a bit quicker than that tonight. Juniors coming up in the next race: Federico Badiso and Jacob Peters, who we mentioned from Poole, fancied by quite a few to be one of our stars of the future in butterfly. Really fast start by Sam Daly and Mount Kelly down here in lane 2.
I think it shows what a tough selection time this is, as the only person that has gone under the selection time is James Guy.
Yes.
From the 3 finals, actually, there's only one person, and he's obviously a senior and one of the best in the world, and there's only one person. So it shows what a tough time it is, but hopefully these guys will put it at the back of their mind. Obviously, there is spots available that is up to the head coach's discretion for European juniors, so you just never ever know. So these guys would just be wanting to put in a good performance, race really quick, and get as close to that as possible.
Sam Daly is really going for this now. Is he going to, getting back to our scenario about elephants and pianos early on today, is he going to find Liberace on his back by the time they get to the last 50, I wonder, because this is really hard work, isn't it? And he's only at 100 here, and he's really pushing himself to the limit.
We saw him do this in the heats this morning, go out really, really quick. And I think it's one of those that everyone has their different tactics over 200 metres butterfly. Some people do go out fast and just hold on. Others use their back end speed and that endurance, because it's a really tough event, very, very tough. But to be fair to Sam, we saw him in every event this morning as well. He had a lot of races this morning.
He certainly did, and he wants to win this one, but so too up in lane 5 does Charlie Hutchison of Ellesmere, who's come through really strongly on this third 50. and the two of them go to the wall together. Daly just by, well, a very, very small amount over Charlie Hutchinson. It is very, very tight between the two of them. Can't see anybody else getting in the mix here. And this is a very, very brave way, or is it a foolish way, for Sam Daly to swim this, because I think he might well get beaten by Charlie Hutchinson in 5, but they are going stroke for stroke, stride for stride, and this is a terrific race. They're all trying to come back at those two. They're not going to catch the man in lane 2 or 5, but who's going to get there first? Looks like it's going to be the Ellesmere swimmer, and it is Charlie Hutchinson with a 2:02.67.
It's a huge improvement from this morning. So it is obviously 3 seconds off that qualifying time, but a huge best from this morning. Most of the field have dropped from their times that they posted in those heats. So to drop 2 seconds from morning to evening is a fantastic swim.
Sam Daly in second, Max Jameson for Thanet in third place. So yeah, 2:02.67. And there'll be loads of people who you know very well who say to me, you can't swim the 200 flat out. It's just not possible.
It isn't, but everyone does swim it different. I mean, we've seen that with kind of Chad Leclos against Laszlo Che, against Michael Phelps, and everyone has their own style of racing, and that's what butterfly is so unique for as well. Some people breathe every stroke, some people breathe every 2. So it's just what works for you. And I mean, Charlie tactically raced that absolutely perfect. For me, I'd rather be in control over that last 50 metres rather than having that elephant that we keep talking about on our backs for sure. But for both those guys, they both dropped from their morning swims this morning, so they'll be pretty pleased with that.
On to the B final of the 200 metres butterfly, and we'll be closely watching Jacob Peters of Poole in lane 4. Quite a few people have been mentioning him to me and saying, yeah, he's a guy who could just break out of the pack here. Brendan Highland of Ireland will go in 1. Another Mount Kelly swim. We saw Sam Daly in the last one. Federico Badiso looking to go sub 2 minutes. This is what he's going to have to do to get anywhere near that junior qualification time. Stands at 1:59.93. Also in the field, here's Jacob Jackson of Ellesmere, Tom Bealey of Aberdeen, Freddie Clampett of Plymouth, and Joe Litchfield, Max's younger brother, who we kind of know better for the 200 IM, but here he is in the 200 butterfly. Let's see what happens in this. Ready to go. Final coming up very shortly, featuring James Guy. That's the A final. This the B final. Now, who can get close to around about 2 minutes? Which, I'm afraid in world terms is not great these days, but we need people to start taking those times down just a bit, edging their way down to 2 minutes, under 2 if they possibly can. And the best starts come from City of Manchester Aquatics' Sam Horrocks in lane 3.
Sam is definitely more suited for the 100 metres. That's kind of what I've known him for, but over the past couple of years, he has done the 200 metres. But like you say, he's kind of fallen short of kind of making those teams and just kind of focusing. I wonder whether that's the issue, is that do people need to just start focusing on 200 metres butterfly and separate them? I think we see on most strokes that people do the 100 and the 200, but maybe it's a case of that you need to focus in, but then it's putting all your eggs in one basket. It's a tough one.
All right, let's see whether the sages around the country have told me to watch out for Jacob Peters of Poole. All right, because he is now storming through in lane number 4. And maybe it's going to be him that takes it, but also in lane 1, we're looking at the Irishman, Brendan Highland, who's leading. But Peters has come into second place, the junior, trying to get close to that 2 minute time.
I think, like we've seen in the junior final, the tactics are just so different over 200 metres, and no one likes to see that elephant on that last 50, but it does happen, and the field is a little bit more spread out and working those turns up in the game on that last 100, and it'll benefit Jacob and them, not them all next to each other, pushing each other on, that they're all kind of gonna want that spot. But the Irish is just looking so strong down there in lane 1.
Yeah, Brendan Highland of the overseas swimmers, and then we have 3 in a line in 3, 5, and 4. Highland looks to have this one sewn up, but where the medal's going to go from a British point of view, is it going to be Sam Horrocks who's going to just edge out Jacob Peters, or is Jacob Jackson going to have something to say about it? All 3 of them are still pretty much in the line with 15 to go. Looks like just about strongest of them is the swimmer in lane 4. And Jacob Peters, I think, is just about going to get it from a British point of view. He does. 2:01.02, third place to Sam Horrocks of Manchester. And third, from a British point of view, it will be Jacob Jackson. The winner, though, from Ireland is Brendan Highland, the only one to go sub 2 minutes.
I mean, that's a great swim from Jacob Peters as well. He has dropped over a second and a half from this morning's heat. So, again, a great swim from him.
Yeah, so 2:01.02 compared to what he did this morning of 2:02.72. And just look at that 50 there. They all kind of bunched up, 3 of them going to the wall pretty much together. But in the end, it was Jacob Peters just getting in the better of Sam Horrocks and Jacob Jackson to take the gold from a British point of view. Right, the race of the day from James Guy fans' point of view, which I know there are many watching high and low in this country and elsewhere.
Me being one of them.
Yeah, absolutely, and me too. Whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook, the James Guy fan club will be there in their numbers. He'll go in lane 4, of course, as the fastest qualifier in the 200. I say, of course, it's not really the event we associate with him, but we will be from here on in. Michael Gonning of Stockport Metro goes in lane number 1. Just saw Matthew Donville of Warrington. And now we'll see I think our only Indian swimmer here this week, Sajjan Prakash, will go in 7. Now the junior, Archie Goodburn, just reminding you again, looking for a time of 1:59.93 when he's done a 2:01.64 this morning, so who knows, might be able to do that tonight. City of Manchester Aquatics, Thomas Payne will be in lane number 6. 3 from Germany is Alexander Kunert. And there are 2 men who went sub 2 minutes this morning. Here's the first of them, Raymond Klenz of Germany. And here he is in one of his newly acquired events, the 200 butterfly, James Guy.
He's supporting a beard though, Bob.
Yeah, supporting a beard. Does he keep sending checks home or something? 1:59.30 he did this morning. Expect him to go, well, I would say considerably quicker than this. We don't know with him yet because he's still a work in progress with this event.
James looks so smooth this morning. He just looked totally in control. It did look effortless. That's what I think James does really, really well on his butterfly. And he's always one of those that swim into every single meet that he goes to, James, as well. It just keeps going. He never tires.
Well, we heard him chat earlier in the programme. Let's see whether he can back it up. He doesn't want to get beaten. He hates getting beaten. He gets quite crabby when he gets beaten, as a lot of swimmers do, of course. But there's the James Guy cap, which we haven't seen before.
Nice little logo there, isn't it?
Making sure that he's got the water on his body. Sure, he's all right. Keeping everybody waiting. Everybody else is ready.
Take your time, James.
Everybody else is ready. James Guy is not. When I'm ready, okay. Like now? Yeah, if you fancy. Let's go for it. James Guy in lane 4 with Kunert of Germany in 3, Raymond Klenz of Germany in 5. Let's see how he approaches this race. We always say the 200 butterfly is a difficult race if you really want to go flat out. I don't think he's going to do that, but he'll have good markers either side from the Germans. And where else is the challenge going to come from? Maybe from Warrender's Archie Goodburn as he looks to try and get sub 2 minutes for the first time. 26.26, the split, first 50. Happy with that?
Yeah, I think for James, it's one of those, obviously, I would say his better stroke is freestyle, but then actually you look at it and he got a bronze last year at the Worlds, but he's just so smooth and he's just always been able to just make it look that effortless, even though technically he is better at the freestyle. But you can tell he's been working at that butterfly. He wants to do well at it. He's obviously added it to his programme for the Commonwealth Games. Obviously here it is just a 4-day meet, but obviously at the Commonwealth Games he's back on a normal kind of competition schedule. So seeing how he handles everything with the relays, hopefully he can pick up lots of medals across the board, and it'll be an event that is on his radar when it comes to the Worlds and Olympics in a few years.
26.26 the first split, 30.10 on the second 50. He leads, but he's got German company either side of him, from Alexander Kunert in 3 and Raman Klenz in lane 5, and they're not letting him go on 27.29. So that's another, yeah, it's another 31. So 26.26, 30.10 and a 31 on the third 50. Last 25 for James Guy, who has got some company.
Yeah.
German's not giving up.
Yeah, but James knows that if someone's with him down that last 50, no one's going to touch him, and he's just kind of swam away a little bit from the rest of the field here and just looks really, really comfortable. There's no elephant on James's back.
1:58.05. Is he happy? No, he's not happy. Little incline of the head. I think he want to go a bit quicker than that. 1:58.05. Still job done, but
I would take that. I think that's a really, really solid performance at this time of year. I mean, he's won the race. He is British champion. Credit to him. And he's still got 5 weeks to go. And I think that's a great place to be at right now and should give him a lot of confidence.
Well, it just shows the standards are high that he sets, and he obviously wants to get that bar even higher still. But 1:58.05 would do for most people at this time of preparation for the Commonwealth Games, it would seem, from the expression on his face, and we'll find out at the medal ceremony later, just why he's not happy with it, or seems like he's not happy with it.
Yeah, no classic James Guy dancing. We keep seeing that at major championships. He's kind of like...
He's too young for dad dancing, isn't he?
Well, he does this almost like lanky, because he's really... yeah, he does this kind of weird dance, this celebration dance, but it does make me laugh anyway. But yeah, I think he'll probably reflect on that and will be happy with it later. It's just sometimes you have these targets in your head that your coach kind of lays down and says, right, try and go as close to this as possible. And maybe he wanted to break that 1:58 that he was just short of.
Right, on to the medal ceremony for the 100 freestyle, which seems like a long, long time ago now. But our winner was actually a surprise winner. Didn't really expect to see the man who did eventually take it. But he had a great swim this morning, and he had another great swim tonight. Lewis Burris, our winner. And there is Duncan Scott, who snuck into third.
I don't think he's used to getting that medal around his neck, to be
not.
honest, but he seems pretty happy, and obviously he's in the right kind of stepping stone moving on to the Commonwealth Games in 5 weeks.
Yeah, there is the second place medal. And now the gold. The British champion, 18 years of age. Keep an eye out for this young man. Lewis Burris will be representing Great Britain at the European Juniors, and you can see from the reaction on his face, to go sub-50 today was exactly what he wanted. Let's hear what Lewis says to John.
Congratulations, Lewis. Incredible race. You must be over the moon with that one.
Yeah, it's great to come away with my first British senior title in such a high caliber meet.
Absolutely. It was, you know, a big guns in the field. What was going through your mind in that final 50? It was such a tight race.
Yeah, I saw it was close coming off the turn. I just had to believe in myself and all the work me and my coach Ash have put in, and just bring it home.
Absolutely. Moving forward in the weekend, obviously you've got your first title. What are you focusing on moving forward?
Tomorrow's the 50 fly, so hopefully try and step up in that and make another senior final.
Fingers crossed, mate. Look, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lewis Burris!
18 years of age from Southport. Lewis Burris, under 50 in the 100 metres freestyle, the latest of the Brits to get that accolade, and indeed the British champion for this year. Medal ceremony for the women's 200 metres freestyle. We've had some great champions over the years, haven't we? Some really good champions. Your mate Joe, her sister Nicola.
Yeah, I mean, Joe is still British record holder, and I thought Siobhan might break that a couple of years ago, but just quite didn't. So it's amazing that Joe still has that British record, but it would be great to see some of these girls getting close to that 1:56 time, dropping down that marker and having a really good 4x2 team again.
Bronze medalists from the city of Sheffield, because Maria Belmonte finished second from Spain, so Ellie gets promoted from 4th to 3rd. Not quite the time she wanted. She went slower from heat to final today, which is so unusual for her. Really is.
It is, but these guys are in hard training. I think it's one of those that they probably have done a heart rate session in between. You never know.
Yeah, right. Holly Hibbert of Stockport Metro, 19 years of age. Getting close to that 2-minute barrier today, 2:00:27. But head and shoulders above everybody and 1.7 seconds quicker than any other Brit in the field is Catherine Greenslade of Edinburgh University. Came with a great finish. Oh, she was pretty good all the way through the 200. 1:58.53. Catherine Greenslade with the gold. Let's hear from the Edinburgh swimmer what she thought about that swim.
Congratulations, Catherine. Edinburgh University, doing it in Edinburgh. How do you feel?
Yeah, it feels really good. It's just really good preparation for Commonwealth Games in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just around the corner. You've been on amazing form lately. What have you been focusing on in training, sort of, to maintain such a high standard?
It's just really like fine-tuning things, getting like the race pace in, getting just some good training.
Good training. Well, look, good luck and congratulations on that, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Catherine Greenslade.
Okay. Are you ready for the skins?
I don't think I am, let alone the...
Well, that's coming up shortly in this event. It is the 50 metres backstroke for women and for men. We have the junior version first, but then we have the skins very soon. And when we get to it, we'll try and explain for the uninitiated, like me, exactly what the skins means. It's a long time since I've seen a skins event and a major championship. So we'll be refreshing our memory from about 15 years ago in a moment. But that's all the junior final of the women's 50 back. And there is no qualification time for this because there's no qualification time for the European Juniors.
No.
Why is that?
It's not an Olympic event, so
Okay.
it's not on the European Junior programme. So for these guys, it's just an opportunity to get in. Probably most of these guys are swimming the 100 metres, 200 metres later on in the week. So it's just an opportunity to blow those cobwebs away, like we say.
Okay. It's got B final there, but I think it's a junior final. And so look at the list for you. Chiara Barber of Wickham. Lucy Kuhn of Leipzig, the German swimmer, in 2. Emily Peck of Preston goes in 3. Lily Bosley of City of Sheffield, entered from this morning on 29.36. Maddie Harris of Swim Gwynedd in 5. Sophie Maguire of Mid Sussex in 6. Lexi Waller of Hart and Midlothian in 7. And Caitlin Bergin of Stockport in lane 8. Don't have very long to give you the names, but we're looking at Caitlin Bergin going off like, well, a rapid upper hole there, lane 8, and also very strong start from Lily Bosley of City of Sheffield in lane 4. It's between 4 and 8 at this stage, but obviously in the sprint they're coming right back. Are they going to hold on? Looks like lane 4 is going to get it, and she does. Lily Bosley in a 29.09, second to Emily Peck, and third place going to Maddie Harris. So 29.09, and we have 6 there under 30.
Yeah, that was some great racing. I mean, I always think sprinting, it is so much about the start and the finish, isn't it? And then the middle bit, you just kind of going hell for leather and just swinging your arms as fast as you can. But that's because I'm not a sprinter. But yeah, I mean, Lily just had a fantastic start and a finish there. And I think, obviously, Georgia Davis is kind of a great inspiration to a lot of these guys that isn't here this meet. But watching Georgia race, I think, is just phenomenal because she has those skills.
Right, for the women's junior race, we go to the men's junior race, and then we'll get into the skins. We'll talk to you about that and give you more description on that after we've seen the junior version of the 50 metres backstroke. And a collection of 17 and 18-year-olds in this. Mount Kelly, Prescott, City of Sheffield, Ellesmere, East Kilbride. There you go. There's a lineup. Prescott, Mount Kelly, and the Netherlands with Jari Grönhart going in lane number 8.
I think the fact that Liam Tancock has still got the world record for this event, I think it's just a testament to kind of our strength as backstroke, but also sprint backstroke. We've had Liam Tancock, Chris Walker-Hebburn, that these guys have been able to look up to for so many years and learn from and have as their inspiration. And now these guys are just starting their journey and their careers. They could be the next Liam Tancock.
Could be. 24.04, that world record set in Rome in 2009. And unlikely to be moved off the books anytime soon, it would seem. Liam will be celebrating his 10-year anniversary of that world record before too long, which is fantastic. And of course, he's now retired as well, looking in, hopefully, on our coverage. Let's see who is the best of the current crop from a junior point of view, who might look to emulate Liam. Of course, Liam came through at about that age, about 17. I think he made a world championship team when he was 18.
I always feel like Liam was around for years. You just forget.
Well, the best starts come from 4 and 5 here. Joseph Small and Scott Gibson, and they are stroke for stroke. 5 looks to maybe have it as we go on that angle, as we come to the sideways on shot. 4 and 5 and 3 all coming to the wall together. Who's going to get it? It is Scott Gibson in a 26.40. Second is Joseph Small, 14 100ths of a second behind. And another further 4 100ths behind is Alex Mason. So the top 3 there separated by 0.18 of a second. 26.40 down to 26.58. In fact, if you look at that, top 4 separated by a quarter of a second.
That's what you'd expect over 50 metres, though, wouldn't it? I mean, there isn't always much in it, and that's what makes the 50 so exciting and so great to watch.
Scott Gibson getting to the wall first. And that's a very good finish from him. East Kilbride has a junior champion at the British Nationals. Right, skins then. In 30 seconds, explain it to me. Becky Adlington, go.
So the first one will be swam as the final. This will be who is crowned British champion. There will be 50 metres backstroke swam, 6 rounds. 2 people will go out. The slowest 2 in the first round go out. So there's 6 competitors. Then 2 go again after the next round, and then 1 goes, and then another 1 goes until there is 2 people left head-to-head to be crowned skins champion. They won't be crowned British champion because that will be done from this very first final that is about to happen.
Brilliant. Can I give you a round of applause for that?
Thank you.
That was a fantastic description, which I could not have done anywhere near as well as that. We will be asking questions later on YouTube and Facebook, if you actually understood that, and I understood it perfectly. So her descriptions are as good as her driving, which is fantastic after this morning.
Well, in this snow, yes.
Do a 1 in 4 hill in some gear. I'm not quite sure what gear it was, but we got up the hill and we got here.
The thing is fascinating about skins, they haven't been done for years because you can't actually count your times that you've done in past the first round. So this first round will be the final. This will determine who is British champion. And then after that, you just literally get a 10-second reminder, and then you get a beep, and you just have to go. So it is all about reactions.
It's a supermarket sweep.
It really, really is. And the thing is, just because who wins the first one doesn't mean they will be still head-to-head in that last round. And we've got no Lizzie Simmons. She did swim this morning. So I'm not...
She doesn't fancy the skins, does she?
Well, I'm not quite sure why she didn't do it, because she could just pull out of the skins. So I'm really, really surprised with Lizzie for pulling out. But obviously, I don't know the reason why. But she swam a great heat swim this morning. A fantastic race. She looked really, really smooth. But obviously, it isn't her main event. The 100 and 200 to come, so I'm sure we'll see her back in the pool this morning. But we've got Kathleen Dawson in there, we've got Lucy Hope, who we've already seen swim that fantastic 200 metres freestyle, so it's going to be interesting.
Standing back off the blocks there is Kathleen Dawson. Just trying to fool us there, because I thought we were actually a swimmer light for a moment. I think she's sitting right back off the blocks. So with the spotlight on them, this is the race for real, if you like, before they get to the skins. Anna Main of Woking in 1. Then we'll have the introduction of the men as well. Lisa Graf of Germany, Joanna Roas of SG Stats. Suppose the Germans have had to agree to this as well, because they probably weren't even sure what the skins were going to happen here, but they're involved as well. So,
they don't know what they've signed up for.
Cassie Wild then of Ellesmere, Kathleen Dawson, University of Stirling, Laura Reedman of Germany. So we have 3 Germans in this field. Lucy Hope of Edinburgh, Lauren Cox, and here are the men who will be doing the alternates when we get into the skins later on.
The reason why they're introducing the men is because you only have 90 seconds between each round. So there's only 90 seconds to recover, to get back down, to run back on poolside, so which is why they're introducing the men, so they're all ready to go in that 90 seconds.
Okay, and the lineup for the men's 50 metres backstroke will be as follows. Thomas Gilroy, Connor Ferguson, Xavier Castelli, Nicholas Pyle, Chris Walker-Hebben, Jan Philipp Glania of Germany, Christian Diener of Germany, and Luke Greenbank of Loughborough. So
Luke Greenbank could be very good at skins.
You reckon?
Well,
He's not a sprinter, though,
he's
isn't he?
a bit more of a 50 and a 100 and a 200 swimmer, so therefore, yes, he's not a sprinter, but he could hopefully have a better tolerance set than some of the other guys in this field. You've got to have a bit of endurance to be able to do skins.
All right, well, let's see how it pans out. We'll have the real race, if you like. Not decrying and not downplaying the skins, but the real races here. Coming up now. 50 metres backstroke for women. We're just waiting to see who the British champion is going to be in this. Kathleen Dawson was 28.89 this morning, but Cassie Wilde was the fastest in the field coming into this from this morning. Very tight, though. Got 3 swimmers separated by 4/100ths of a second. Kathleen Dawson, Cassie Wilde, and Johanna Roas of Germany. And away they go on the 15 metres backstroke for women.
Fantastic start there. Absolutely fantastic.
In lane number 5 from Kathleen Dawson. Terrific start by her. And,
and Lucy Hope.
Yeah, Lucy Hope did very well. She's obviously back after doing so well earlier on. Is it going to be lane number 7? Lucy Hope is really flying today, isn't she? Lucy Hope up against Kathleen Dawson. Who's going to get to the wall first? It is actually Lucy Hope with a 28.18. What a day she is having.
Lucy is having a fantastic race. So we've seen there in lanes 1 and 2. So the guys that are 7th and 8th, they now go out. So when it comes to skins, they are now out. But our British champion is obviously Lucy, Kathleen second, and Lauren Cox being our British champion, our British girl coming 3rd. So there are 1, 2 and 3. So they're definitely still now British champions. So everyone is clear. That does not change even though lane 1 and lane 2 are eliminated.
Well, there you go. Lane 1 and lane 2 eliminated. So we are left with just 6. And we will see them in the skins in, well, about 2 minutes' time, I suppose, by the time we got this underway. 50 metres backstroke for men. Just to remind you of the 1:28 on this one. Thomas Gilroy, Pioneer, 79. Conor Ferguson, Ireland. Xavier Castelli of City of Cardiff. Nicholas Pyle of Newcastle is the fastest qualified. Chris Walker-Hebben in 5. 6, Jan-Philipp Glanier of Germany. Christian Diener of Germany in 7. And Luke Greenbank in lane number 8. Who got the best start? The best start coming from lane number 5, Chris Walker-Hebben. But
you'd expect Chris to have a fantastic start, but for me this morning, Nicholas just looks so strong down that last 15 metres.
Well, let's see if he can back it up in lane number 4. Trying to, and he is coming back quite strongly on Chris Walker-Hebben. It is going to be Pyle who's going to take it as well. Nicholas Pyle is the British champion at 25.45. And Walker-Hebben reduced to 3rd place. 2nd is Conor Ferguson. So Chris Walker-Hebben will be 2nd in Britain, but Nicholas Pyle is the new man at the top of the pile.
It shows what I know, though, because I said Luke Greenbank would be very good for skins, but he's eliminated first round.
Bye, Luke.
So it shows what I know. So Luke and Thomas are both eliminated, so they do not go through to the next round. But for Chris Walker-Hebben, even though coming 3rd, he is 2nd on the British podium. Seen as obviously the Irish guy was 2nd, so I'm sure Chris will be a little bit disappointed with that, but we'll see him back in the pool in 90 seconds anyway.
We shall. He'll be involved in the skins. So here we go. The women's skins are about to start. Now we're going to get this 10 seconds and then the supermarket sweep bleep.
Yes. So they each stay in their lanes that they were kind of allocated to at the very start until the very last round where the 2 come together and go head to head.
Right. Joanna Ross of Stat in 3.
Oh.
Okay.
That's all you get. You get the 10 seconds, you get the beep, and if you've not got good reactions, but Lucy Hope certainly has got good reactions.
Yeah, she has. She's having a terrific day, and she's right on the money here. Yeah, a couple of lanes up from Lucy Hope is Kathleen Dawson. Doesn't want to get beaten the 2nd time, but is going to get beaten the 2nd time. So who are we going to drop?
Well, Lauren Cox just hasn't decided to swim it, even though she wasn't eliminated in lane 8. So I don't know whether now, I think probably just 1 goes. I don't know the official rules.
It's complicated now, doesn't it?
So I'm guessing Laura, because she came last, it is just 1 that goes, seeing as Lauren decided not to take part in the skins. So I'm assuming that's right. We don't really know.
Okay, we'll find out. Lane 4 is eliminated. So that is Cassie Wilde.
Oh.
Okay, lane 6 eliminated. Look, oh, no, I'm confused.
Because 2 were meant to go, but okay, yeah.
Okay. All right, so Cassie's gone, Laura's gone. So who we got? We've got Kathleen Dawson, Joanna Roas, and Lucy Hope. Lauren Cox, is that right? I don't know, I'm losing track already on this. Lucy Hope's definitely there 'cause she won that one. Round 2 of the men. Wait for
Who
the bleep.
decided to do skins?
Wait for the bleep. Wait for the bleep. Wait for the bleep. Wait for the bleep. That's a whistle this time. Is that a whistle for the start of 10 seconds?
Yes.
Okay. Come on, Dale Winton, your turn. Beep. Thank you. On to the 50 metres back for the skins event. And a flying start by Christian Diener, who I think it maybe have done this before.
Well, I don't think Chris Walker-Hebbon's going hell for leather here, is he, on the qualifier? So, yeah, right. I think there's some tactics going on here.
Yeah, who doesn't want to finish last? Yeah, I think I'll just miss this one out. If that's all right with you. So, Castelli finishes, Diener finishes. Chris, would you like to join us anytime soon in lane number 5?
Nah.
Still the slowest is lane 2 though. Conor Ferguson, who really doesn't want a part of this at all, does he?
Neither does Nicholas Pye, even though he's British champion. He's gone, no, I've had enough.
So,
I've had enough.
Right, so this is not quite working out the way we thought it might.
The thing is, there's prize money for these skins. So
Are they aware of that though?
yes, they probably are, but
Sure?
that's just... They must do. They must do. So there is prize money. So that should be a little incentive for these guys, but clearly not.
Luncheon vouchers? Right. So back to the women. Where were we?
We're all confused.
So who have we got
There's
left?
4 left.
There's 4 left, which must be 3, 5, 7, and 8. Let's have a look.
Yep, 3, 5, 7, and 8. Yep,
Okay,
correct.
good.
No, 3, 5. No, 8.
No 8.
3, 4, 5, 7.
Well,
3, 4,
Cassie
5.
Wild was taken out though. Okay, she's back in now.
She's back in.
Oh, okay. I think I'm following this. Maybe I'm not. Anyway, who really doesn't want to go on with this any further? Well, 3 of them are racing actually, aren't they?
Well,
Vi?
I think Lucy and Kathleen have probably got this in the bag, haven't they? And it's going to be them 2 head to head. But yeah, Lucy's just looking really smooth.
Yes, she is. She's going for it every single time. She's not slowing down, and she's won. Well, she's basically won 3 races now. She won her own race, she won the first skins, and she won the second skins.
So, but, okay.
Okay,
I'm confused. So Kathleen has just come last.
Yes.
So does that mean, I think that just means 1 is out this time. So I think Kathleen is eliminated.
Okay.
We're not even following this,
we're
Bob.
not.
I hope you are
lane,
at home.
Lane 5, yes, there you go.
Please let us know if you are following this as well.
I hope the boys alongside us are keeping up with it, because I'm not particularly.
So Kathleen has gone.
Yes. So it's going to be... Oh, we'll wait till we get round again for that one.
Okay.
Now, who fancied it from the men's point? I don't think
Well,
any
there's
of them
only
do.
3 there.
Yeah, well, because...
Oh.
Oh, dear. So we've got... Well, they've got 4 up on the board, but Chris is not there.
I think Chris wasn't eliminated, but he's just chose to not swim this.
He's gone. So there
Chris
you
is gone.
So you've got 2 Germans and the City
Xavier.
of Cardiff swimmer in lane 3. So nobody goes this time. So what's the point of doing it? Heaven's sake. Who came up with this idea?
There is skins every night, people.
Yeah, there is. I can't wait for tomorrow night.
I can't wait to watch Adam do the skins.
I think I might be...
Adam Peaty doing the 50 breaststroke skins,
I think
though.
I might be toasting marshmallows or something. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, 2 Germans on the far side.
So no one goes this. Surely, if no one goes this round, all 3 should just take it easy.
Yeah,
Because
but they're probably not aware of that. They're probably as unaware as we are. But Cardiff's going to win it.
Hey!
There you go. Hey! So Xavier Castelli wins it, 27.14. And one of the Germans should go, but won't go.
So there's 3 left in the girls now.
Ah, right. Okay, so with this one, okay, so because we're one round advanced now, aren't we? So we'll get a straight head-to-head at the moment.
Yeah, so Lucy's moving lanes.
Which will be Lucy Hope against somebody.
No, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, but
so
Lucy,
it's not head-to-head.
No, but Lucy Hope will win this. So it'll be Lucy Hope against somebody else in the
And I thought they didn't move lanes until they went head-to-head at the end.
Yeah, so did I.
So we're totally lost.
Uh-huh.
Basically, there's 3 girls in this final. Yeah. Well, in the penultimate round.
This is the last exclusion or elimination, isn't it, in the skins? So Lucy's, they've got her down as 7, but she's not in 7, she's in 6.
With Cassie, who they said was eliminated 3 rounds ago. Lucy's got a fantastic start, though.
Do you think you need me to commentate on this? I don't think you do, really, do you? Anyway, Lucy's going to win it again, as predicted. Lucy's going to win her 4th 50 metres backstroke of the day.
Lucy knows there's prize money. Go on, Lucy.
Yeah, well, she's in a home pool, and she's obviously got some friends and family and support here, and she's going to win it again. She get a bit close to that lane rope.
Well, the board's now telling us it's Kathleen Dawson, but it's not. That is definitely Lucy Hope. Definitely. We think. So, how many boys are left?
Two. Oh, no, we think 3, don't we?
There should be 3.
Should be 3, yeah. So the 2 Germans and the Cardiff swimmer,
Xavier
Castelli.
So, yes, there is 3 left.
Just aged about 10 years.
Oh, I think, to be fair, there is a bit of confusion as
No, really?
to who goes. So I think the boys are a little bit confused because obviously last round no one got eliminated as Chris Walker-Hedman decided to not swim.
Now we're down to 2.
Because, yeah, I think he doesn't know that he's meant to be in this. There is a lot of confusion. A lot of confusion.
So which of the Germans? Which of the Germans?
Oh no, he's jumping in. He's jumping in.
Oh, he's coming in. Hello.
Go, go, go! Go! Oh no. Oh
dear.
Oh.
All right. What do you want me to say at this point? Apart from it looks like
we don't know who the 3 are either because the board's wrong. This is great. This is great.
Well, we know there's 2 Germans in there, so one of the Germans is going to win.
2 Germans.
So we know the
Xavier.
So we know Xavier looks like he's going to get eliminated. So we're going to have a final between 2 Germans, which is going to be Jan-Philipp Glanier against Christian Diener.
No, Xavier did come second there. So it's
did
one
he?
of the Germans.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Right.
Because he was in lane 4.
29.91. Yes, he was. Yeah, 30.10. So it will be.
We don't know.
It will be.
So this is the final of the girls. So there is definitely 2 girls now left. So Lucy Hope and I can't
Are you
quite.
sure it's Lucy Hope though?
No, I'm not. But I can't see from where I'm sat.
Because there are 2.
So one's got a white hat on.
Yes.
And one's got a blue. But
they're saying Kathleen Dawson, but it is Lucy Hope. Yes, Lucy Hope against Cassie Wilde. Okay. Right. Anyways, can Lucy win another? That's the question. She's in 5.
oh, she's got a fantastic start. I mean, no one's getting past her after the start.
So she will have won, what, 5 50 metres backstroke races in the space of about 10 minutes. Don't think it's too much now that Lucy's going to win this. And, yeah, it's going to be Lucy Hope, definitely. Still got something left in the tank to
Well,
win.
I think that's right, because Lucy wasn't quite on the podium for that 200 metres as she was in the B final. So rightly so that she gets that medal that she deserves and getting that gold medal as well.
And 30.29, if you care, was her time in the final of that.
So well done, Lucy.
Well done, Lucy. She's won more races in one day than Michael Phelps did in the whole of the Olympics.
And it was definitely Cassie.
Yes, it was.
So well done to
Brilliant
Cassie
to
as well
Cassie,
for making
yes.
that. I think she still gets a little bit of prize money.
And we still got the men's to go, yeah. So it's going to be...
Not them 2.
No, it's not. They keep putting up Nicholas Pyle against Chris Walker-Hedman on the screen, which we know those 2 went.
It's definitely a German.
Well, no, it's Xavier Castelli against...
A German.
Against Christian Diener. Would I be right in saying that? I'm looking for help to my right-hand side. I'm getting absolutely zip.
Can anyone let us know on Facebook? Can anyone let us know?
I have to say, this is a highlight of my broadcasting career, this. 50 metres backstroke for men, skins final.
Bob, what would you do if I said I'm not going to commentate on the skins with you tomorrow?
I think I might leave town if I could. If indeed I could leave town because of all the snow. But anyway.
Oh, the German's going for it.
Yeah, the German is going for
hell
it.
for leather.
And so it looks like he's going to win it, and Xavier Castelli is not. Basically, what it comes down to. So time for, I think it's Christian Diener. Christian Diener will get the win in 26.16. And Xavier Castelli of Cardiff. That's the confirmation. It's on his hat. That's how easy it is to spot. Christian Diener is our winner. And Xavier Castelli in second place from the city of Cardiff. I'm so much looking forward to this tomorrow night.
Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to it when it's Adam.
Oh, yes.
Adam would be great.
But we know Adam's going to win it, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We think.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we've got the medal ceremony for the men's 200 metres butterfly, so we'll hear from James Guy, see what he thought, because he definitely wasn't happy with his time. He looked up at the clock, and normally if he's happy, you get a smile, or he punches the water or something, but he definitely didn't seem totally enamoured with his 1:58.05. And because we had quite a wide spread of international swimmers, we have to go a little way down to find our bronze medalist, which is Michael Gunning.
I live with Michael, so I'm pleased he's on the podium.
Okay. Somebody from Hello Magazine's just rung up?
No, he's a friend.
Oh, okay.
He moved to Stockport from London Aquatics when the programme shut, so he's back training with Sean Kelly. So,
all right.
Yeah, I'm really, really pleased for Michael. It's great. He always he's one of those swimmers that always comes fourth. And my heart always breaks for him, so it's amazing to see him up on that podium.
He's got bronze here because of two Germans finishing second and third. So the Manchester's Thomas Payne will get the silver. 2:00:47 his time, which was about a second quicker than he went this morning. But James Guy gets his first, I think, national title at 200 butterfly. 23 years of age these days, from the University of Bath, 1:58.05. And James Guy wins the first of his national titles this week. Won't be the last, I'm sure. We will hear from James Guy about his swim in the 200 fly.
Congratulations, James, British champion once again. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, of course. It's nice to come here and kind of race and prepare for Commonwealth Games. So good solid swim tonight and on to tomorrow.
I mean, you had a cracking year last year, 3 medals at Budapest, obviously. Big weekend for you. How are you sort of carrying that momentum forward into this year?
I'm just trying to think of the long-term goals, really. Obviously, Commonwealth Games, Europeans, and long-term Tokyo. So it's all preparing for them and kind of training on through.
Absolutely. And I know you just came back from the Gold Coast, down there in the sunshine, having a training camp. You looking forward to getting back?
Yeah, of course. The weather's a lot better than Edinburgh, so can't wait to get out there and race hard for my country.
Absolutely. Well, good luck and congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for James Guy.
He's not wrong about the weather.
No, he's not. But I wouldn't single out Edinburgh particularly because it's pretty much the same all over the country. So,
very true.
Whilst he probably won't become the ambassador of Edinburgh after saying that, it is horrible everywhere, as you well know. Go outside your window. I think anybody's managed to escape it this time. So, thank you for staying warm and inside with us on the first day of the Edinburgh International, including the GB Championships. And the last final of the day, we have two, of course, a junior final and an A final of the 400 metres individual medley. And we will see in the A final shortly, Abby Wood go up against Maria Belmonte, up against Hannah Miley, up against Amy Wilmot. Should be a cracking final when we get to it in a few minutes' time.
Yeah, it should be a really, really good one. I mean, this morning, Abby just looks so in control, but you can never rule out Hannah, you can never rule out Amy, you can never rule out Maria Belmonte. Even Rosie had a really good, strong front end with the butterfly and backstroke, so I'm sure it'll be a close race. But for these juniors going in, they've got a time to hit of 4:51.1. So no one did it quite this morning, but there's a few of the girls that are just kind of 2 or 3 seconds off. So hopefully we might see one of these girls making the qualifying time for the European Juniors.
Yeah, no juniors in this main final when we get to the A final, but obviously all juniors in this one. Looking for that 4:51.14. Fastest of those in this field is Daisy Anson from this morning anyway, with a 4:53.24. Something wrong with the timing device, just testing it through.
The skins has ruined everything.
Skins has thrown everything out of kilter now, hasn't it? Lily Booker of City of Bristol in 1, Chiara Schlossen of City of Leeds in 2, Amelia Monaghan of City of Peterborough 3, Daisy Anderson of Thanet Swim goes in 4, Freya Colbert of Nova Centurion, club you probably know a little bit about, in lane 5. 6 is Katie Shanahan of City of Glasgow, Michaela Glenister of City of Leicester in 7, and Gaia Alcaraz of Aberdeen in lane number 8. Once again, just to remind you that qualification time for the European Juniors is 4:51.14. They want to go to Finland in July, and setting the pace nice and early. Daisy Anderson, fastest qualifier from the heats this morning, has set a fair old pace on the first 50, but of course it is 4 strokes and it is a long race.
It definitely is. I mean, what's exciting about this is that lane 5, which is Freya, and lane 6, which is Katie, they're both 14 years of age, which is just so young. They've obviously got a bright future ahead of them, but what an experience it is for them. But as we were talking this morning during the heats, that you obviously have educated me that you have to have a strong breaststroke in 400 medley. So that's definitely the leg to watch, that if there is one to open up. And the lead changes so much, and that's what makes it such an exciting race. But as you said, you've got to have a strong breaststroke to be getting just posting fast times.
Well, let's see if that's backed up by what we see here, as we see Chiara Slossen coming in alongside Daisy Anderson, and Slossen getting there just first. Second place to Daisy Anderson, first 100 completed then, as we go from butterfly to backstroke. And it is the lead swimmer down below us in lane 2, but being caught by Daisy Anderson again in lane 4. And Anderson's having a very good backstroke leg here.
I think 400 medley is one of the hardest events, I really do, on the programme. And not just because it's tiring, but just technically as well. There's so much to it. To be good at all 4 strokes is so, so tough. And then technically on all the turns, I mean, you've got the addition of a back-to-breast turn as well, which is another skill in itself. So it is a lot to take on board. And most 400 IM swimmers, like we've already seen with Amy Wilmot and Hannah Miley and Marie Belmonte, they all swim multiple events as well. So it is technically a very, very tough event. So for these girls that are just kind of obviously starting their junior career, something that they've had such great inspiration watching Hannah Miley and your Amy Wilmots come through. They've had that inspiration there, and hopefully these girls are the next generation.
And Thanet Swim are, I think, part of the charge to try and get a 50-metre pool in Kent. There is no 50-metre pool in the county of Kent right now, so all the clubs down there, 25-metre pool, some have got slightly different lengths, but there isn't one 50-metre pool in Kent. It's a big county too.
That really surprises me.
Yeah. So
Daisy's looking absolutely fantastic here, though. Obviously, she's led after that backstroke, and now onto the breaststroke, the key stroke, Bob.
Oh, look at her go. See? There you go. No, she was looking in on the backstroke, and you can see the progress being made by Freya Colbert in 5. So she's probably got the stronger of the breaststrokes, you would see, the way she's come through from pretty much nowhere to second place.
And yeah, I mean, Freya's only just 14 years of age, which is just incredible. Daisy is 17, who is leading, but obviously such strong backstroke and breaststroke legs. You've got to be able to back it up with the freestyle, but I can't really see anyone catching Daisy at this point.
No, and she'll have her eyes on the big prize, getting to Finland in July. 4:51.14 on the 400 metres individual medley is what she's looking for, but yeah, look at the good breaststrokers here coming right back into it. And Chiara Slossen, who was a little bit adrift after the backstroke, is starting to work her way back through the field on the breast, but we'll get a split here and see where Daisy Anderson is in relation to potentially getting that time she needs. Now remember, the time she needs is 4:51.14, so she will need to do a 68. Well, she'll do a 68, won't she, to bring it back?
You would like to think so. Hopefully she will. Hopefully it'll be amazing to see her get that time. Obviously 4:51, that is a tough time for the juniors, but hopefully she can. She's not got anyone next to her, which sometimes is the challenge, isn't it? It's sometimes nice to be head-to-head because it gives you that extra push. But hopefully Daisy can come back nice and strong. There's still loads of the guys lined up on poolside giving them a cheer, so fingers crossed for her.
Well, she hasn't got to the turn yet, so getting a little bit edgy and a bit anxious for her. 4:18.66 is right on the cusp, isn't it?
It's going to be really
Colbert
close.
4:20.89. Third place to Chiara Slossen. There's only one person who's going to get this time, if she's going to get the time, and it is Thanet's Daisy Anderson. Come on, Daisy. This is the time we need. 4 minutes 51.14. Oh, it's going to be so tight. How tight is it going to be? I think she's right in sight of it. 4:51. We're at 4:47, 4:48, 4:49, 4:51, 4:51.98. So she misses out on qualification by What is it in the end? It is...
0.8.
Yeah, 0.8. 0.8 of a second.
But the head coach has got 6 spots available to pick, so you just never ever know. I always think when you're that close, they look at the percentages, they look at all the statistics, so she could still be going. The team is being announced on the 9th of March, so it's not a case of, right, the teams are definite just from that. The head coach does have that discretion, so fingers crossed for Daisy.
Yeah, that's a big improvement from this morning for the 70-year-old from Thanet Swim. Hopefully she will get a chance to swim that in the European Juniors later on this year. So close. And of course, nobody else has got that time in the junior rank, so maybe she'll get some preferential treatment there. Right, last event of the day is the main race of the 400 meters individual medley. And again, just to tee it up for you, we have 3 from Spain. We have Hannah Miley, our Olympic finalist on several occasions. Abby Wood, who really is a growing talent from Loughborough. We have Amy Wilmot in lane number 1. Here comes Jimena Perez of Spain. Shouldn't really trouble the scorers too much with a 4:50. Amy Wilmot, however, will go, I hope, a lot quicker than her 4:50.07 from this morning, up at the University of Stirling these days. She's moved around a bit.
Yeah, I think for Amy, the London programme where she was swam with Lisa obviously got closed, so she had to look around. And I think it was a good decision for Amy to say, you know what, let's have a change, let's do something different. We've seen Hannah Miley do that quite a lot, move around, try different clubs. So hopefully for Amy, I mean, both of these girls, Amy and Hannah, have got so many events this week. Amy is racing the 200, 400 metres medley, the 200 breast, the 200 free, the 200 fly. I think Hannah's got 9 events this week, so they're not taking it easy this week.
And here she is, now Aberdeen performance, and all those years we mentioned, she didn't have a 50-meter pool. She was at Geary in that small pool. You know, Dad had to open it up for her every morning, pretty much go in there. And then now, later on in her career, she's actually got everyday use of a 50-meter pool. She must think, what would have happened if I had that 10 years ago?
Yeah, I don't think Hannah probably thinks too much about that. I think Hannah's one of those that always is looking for the future, always looking. She's a very positive person. She's always just trying to make those kind of small 1% marginal gains that we all talk about. But someone for me that looked fantastic this morning was Abby Wood. She just looked really, really strong and smooth and in control. I mean, she's up at tough fields. Abby's only 19 years old, and you've got Hannah in there at 29. Maria Belmonte's 27. Amy Wilmot's 25. So these girls have got a lot more experience than her. But Abby just doesn't shy away from that, and I think that will bode really, really well for her in the future.
Right, well, let's see how our last event of the day shapes up. Amy Wilmot in 1, Amy Bell of City of Sheffield in 2, Hannah Miley of Aberdeen these days in 3, Abby Wood of Loughborough in 4, Maria Belmonte of Spain in 5. Many medals, world, Olympic, European, so many for the Spaniard at 27. Rosie Rudin of City of Sheffield in 6, and then 2 more Spaniards go in 7 and 8. Africa Zamorano, 20 years of age, and Jimena Perez in lane number 8. So let's see how this one unfolds. First butterfly, and we know that Hannah Miley's been working very hard on a butterfly in recent years, so she's going to want to be up there. Abby Wood, however, is leading the field at 35. It looks like she'll be leading into the wall at 50 as well.
I think you never panic when you watch 400 IM, do you? I think this is the one event that you don't panic early on because, like you say, everyone swims it different. Everyone's got a weaker stroke, if you like. I would say I don't really know which is Hannah's weaker stroke because they're all kind of I think that's what Hannah does so well, that she's consistent across all 4. I would have said maybe it was a breaststroke a couple of years ago, but then her breaststroke's now probably one of her stronger ones. So it is that for Amy, her butterfly and freestyle are really, really strong. And same for Abby, her butterfly is obviously really strong as well. And Belmonte, exactly the same. So this one's probably going to swap and change a few times.
Abby Wood at the front of the field. Hannah Miley in second place. Third is Maria Belmonte, 103.51 for Abby Wood. On to the backstroke they go. We'll see whether the 19-year-old from Loughborough can keep this going. We expect Hannah Miley to work her way through the field at the back end, but we are, of course, seeing Hannah do that right now. Maria Belmonte is as she swims on her back for Abby Wood to the right-hand side of her in lane number 5. And look at lane 6, Rosie Rudin coming back really strongly on the backstroke here.
Well, Rosie is a very, very good backstroker. I mean, we saw her make her debut at the World Championships last year for 200 metres backstroke. So we know Rosie's got a really, really strong backstroke. I'd probably say for Rosie that she swam it exactly the same this morning. Her butterfly and backstroke were really strong and just kind of fell off the pace a little bit on the breaststroke and front crawl. Because we know Belmonte's got a really strong front crawl and we know Hannah has as well. So, yeah, it's one of those that I'm not panicking just yet.
No, well, we've got lots of British interest in this and a lot of high-profile British swimmers, Amy Wilmot being amongst them, and she's working her way back through the backstroke as well. And it'll be her and Rosie Rudin who will go to the wall as 1 and 2. Rosie getting there first, 2:14.56. Amy up with a 2:15. Third place now to Maria Belmonte, and actually Abby Wood has fallen back to 5th.
That's what makes this event scary, but so much fun to watch.
You're right about the transformation. Now, let's see what Abby Wood can do what I expected to do on the breaststroke and pull right back.
Hannah's breaststroke as well has come on so much, definitely over the past couple of years. I mean, Hannah's time for a 200 metres breaststroke is actually really, really strong and is one of her better events. And I was even saying this morning, Hannah needs an 800 metres medley because she's so good and she's so got so much endurance. That's that kind of thing where Hannah just doesn't have that extra gear of speed that the other girls have. But her breaststroke, you could see Hannah just come into her element here and just claw back what she kind of moved back from on the backstroke. She's clawed that right back and now amongst it. But Belmonte's still there, and I wouldn't rule her out when it comes to that freestyle leg.
No, that's a very strong leg for her. She is 2 lanes up and starting to make tracks in lane number 5. Watch out for Belmonte. She's coming through. Hannah probably isn't aware of her right now. She won't be aware of her on the breaststroke. It's going to be a straight head-to-head possibly here between Hannah Miley, Amy Wilmot and Maria Belmonte coming into the frame now. Hannah takes over the race after 300. It's Hannah Miley by, well, no time at all between her and Amy Wilmot. And then Maria Belmonte in 3rd. Rosie Rudin now 4th. Here comes the freestyle to take them home.
Yeah, you know that all of these girls have kind of got a strong front crawl leg, but Belmonte just comes back like an absolute train that you just can't rule her out at all. She just seems to just swim easy until the last 50 metres. I know she's not, but that's exactly how Belmonte swims all the time. But for these girls, it is about just posting a good time. It's great to see, even though Amy is down there in lane 1, she's having a fantastic race tonight. She wants to get amongst it. We weren't scared this morning when she swam that 450 at all, were we?
Hannah up against Belmonte. What a classic encounter this is. Belmonte's so strong at the back end of her race, might just get this. Hannah is digging in for all she's worth. Belmonte might get to the front of the field when it really matters, and she is getting there. Hannah Miley is going to have to accept 2nd place. Just 23 hundredths between them. Belmonte wins it. Hannah Miley in 2nd, Amy Wilmot in 3rd. Abby Wood, who set the pace early on, just falling back into 4th. And Rosie Rudin, who's leading after halfway, is back in 5th. That just shows you the transformation. We had, I think, about 4 or 5 leaders in that race.
Yeah, I said from all night, to be honest, that if you're near Belmonte on the last 25, then you know she's going to win it because that's exactly how she swims, 100%. And she has got such a fantastic front crawl as well. But obviously Hannah is still British champion, even though Belmonte won that. She will get prize money, Belmonte, but Hannah is still British champion, which is fantastic for her, which obviously means Abby Wood then moves on to the podium and gets 3rd with Amy finishing 2nd. So I'm sure those girls will be pretty pleased with that going. Still 5 weeks out from their preparation of the Commonwealth Games, so I'm pretty sure that they'll be feeling nice and confident and in the right stepping stone. But obviously Commonwealth Games is going to be tough for these girls because all Hannah, Amy, Abby, Rosie, they're all going to the Commonwealth Games, so it is going to be a tough one and a battle, and they'll all want to make those podium spots once again, but I'm pretty sure Hannah will be on that podium.
We will have the medal ceremonies for the women's 50 backstroke, the men's 50 back, and the 400 metres individual medley that we've just seen. Just a little bit disappointed with Abby Wood, especially after the way she swam this morning.
I think it's one of those that they're not tapered for this. So to actually, most of the time, that easy speed that we all talk about tends to come in the evening when you are feeling not as tired, not as early as it was this morning, and that just isn't there when you're not rested back. So actually, they're still 5 weeks out from their preparations. So I don't think Abby will be too disheartened by that. I mean, she's still third. She did look really, really comfortable this morning, so I think she's got to be happy with kind of backing those 2 performances up in one day. Still 5 weeks out and not unrested.
Yeah, it's true. But on the day, Maria Belmonte was the best of the foreign swimmers. But as far as the result at the end concerned, Hannah Miley was the best of the Brits. Yeah, so we'll have the presentations for the 250 backstrokes coming up very shortly. And, well, this is a surprise in the men's. Nicholas Pyle winning that, and Lucy Hope winning it in the women's. In fact, Lucy Hope not just won one race, she won 5.
I think Lucy was my swimmer of the night,
yeah.
If I had to name one. I think that 200 freestyle in that B final, posting that 1:59 was a fantastic swim. And then just around, I mean, we didn't have a clue what was going on in those skins, let's not lie. And Lucy,
did they? That's the point.
Lucy handled it absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah.
She swam fast and won every single round, I think. So a fantastic night for Lucy indeed.
Yep, very good swim in the B final. And when she got to the A final of the 50 back, she was the best, up against the likes of Kathleen Dawson and Cassie Wilde. But here come the men, and Chris Walker-Hebben, not the winner on this occasion, not British champion in the 50. British champion is Nicholas Pyle of Newcastle, the 18-year-old. Chris now 28 years of age.
I think it's nice because a lot of these younger guys coming through, they have looked up to Chris Walker-Hebben, they have looked up to Leanne Tancott for so many years. So for them, they've had such huge inspiration. So it's nice to see the next generation coming through. And I know Chris is such a good ambassador of the sport. I mean, he loves the sport so much and just wants to pass that knowledge on. And he's obviously got huge experience at an international level as well. So for him, obviously it's disappointing he's not going to the Commonwealth Games, but he'll just be kind of wanting to get back on form for the European Championships and hopefully get back on that team.
Yeah, 28 now is Chris. We'll still be hoping he can make that team for Tokyo in a couple of years' time. Well, 2.5 years away now from the next Olympic Games, but 18-year-old junior Nicholas Pyle is top of the pile as far as this event is concerned. He is the national champion at the 15 meters backstroke. We will hear what Nicholas has to say about his first British title.
Nicholas, congratulations, British champion. What a way to start your weekend, right?
Yeah, great, thanks.
I mean, you went from being the fastest in that first one into the skins, fastest to slowest. Obviously, you know, you were looking to have a bit of fun out there. You happy with your race?
Yeah, it was really good. To improve from this morning was even better.
Yeah, a great time for you. And moving forward into the weekend, what are you focusing on now?
Just the 100 and 200 back, so 100 tomorrow, 200 the next day.
Well, look, good luck with it. Congratulations once again, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Nicholas Pyle.
Yeah, well done, Nick. 18 years of age and a real prospect. Hope he can push on in the 100 and the 200 because that's what we need. Because at the moment we don't have a lot of depth in the men's 100 or depth in the men's 200. We need 2 or 3 and he could be the next cab off the rank.
We're definitely for that relay, that 4x1 medley relay, 100%. I mean, we saw at Worlds last year when Chris Walker-Hebben got ill, it was really kind of testy because he had to pull out of the individual. And when you don't have that backup, when you don't have that second person to kind of step in, it's very nerve-wracking because obviously we've got such a good butterfly breaststroke and freestyle, so we just need that backstroke to really come on.
On to the women's event and centre stage, and you've already heard Rebecca Adlington say her swimmer of the session most definitely is Lucy Hope. We'll get to see her in just a moment. These are the bronze and silver. Lauren Cox was there picking up 3rd place. Second place going to Kathleen Dawson. And what a performance. On many occasions, she won the skins as well. She won the race proper, she won the skins, and did a 1:59 in the 200 freestyle early on. It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
It doesn't. She's had a great night. It's a shame she wasn't in that, obviously, that A final and got to get that silver medal. And but again, she's got the Commonwealth Games coming up in 5 weeks, and she's a great one to watch out for.
Let's hear from her. Oh, we won't. Okay, she's gone. All right, we'll hear from Lucy. I'm sure she's going to be featuring in other races over the course of the week. But that wraps things up for day one of the Edinburgh International, including the Great Britain Championships. And of course, quite a few spots already secured for the European Juniors. Just a quick reflection before we go, Becky, on day one.
Yeah, I think it's been a really, really solid night, to be honest. I mean, we've had James Guy take that win that we'd expect. Obviously, Lucy Hope, we've seen some of the juniors come through. Fantastic performance from some of the juniors. And to say at the start of it, we kind of said, oh, not many of the juniors will get these times. And actually, there's been times in every single one apart from the men's 200 fly. So it's great to see that. And it sets it up for the rest of the week, I feel.
Right, we have one more ceremony. I'd forgotten the 400 IM. How could I? How could I forget Hannah Miley? How could I forget Amy Wilmot, who will both be in the centre of your picture right now? There's Amy closest to us. Hannah will take the title yet again. National champion yet again in the 400 metres individual men. I've lost count of how many it is now, but it's quite a few.
Yeah, she's got a lot of medals at home, hasn't she? But great for Abby Wood. I mean, all three of these girls are going to the Commonwealth Games, so they did that unrested. They've still got 5 weeks left of their preparation, so hopefully we'll see this sort of arrangement at the Commonwealth Games.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Means the Aussies aren't getting a look in, the Canadians not getting a look in. Be great,
no, not in my books.
Absolutely right, absolutely. But here she is, always got a big smile on her face. As you quite rightly observed, apart from the World Championships last year, which is very rare for Hannah. Even at adversity, she has a smile on her face, and no adversity today. It's another national title for the now 29-year-old from Aberdeen. And I think we'll hear from her.
Hello, Hannah. Congratulations. What a way to finish the first day here. You must be happy with that one.
Happy and tired, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, after 400. I mean, you went into that race, you really pushed on in that second 200 metres. Was that your strategy as you went into it?
It was pretty much just go hard or go home, really. Yeah.
Especially with a field like that. I mean, lots of incredible swimmers there. Busy program for you. What are you most excited for as we progress into the weekend?
Just looking forward to getting some good head-to-head racing. I'm probably going to get my butt kicked quite a few times because I'm not the most freshest coming into this meet, but it's yeah, it's really exciting. The atmosphere is great, the lights, the competition. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting some good solid swims under my belt.
Fantastic. Look, congratulations once again, British champion. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Hannah Miley.
Right, that does now formally wrap up our event of day one of the Edinburgh International and GB Championships. We are back with you at 20 to 9 on Friday for the day 2 heat, and of course the finals in the evening at 5:45. Look forward to your company then. Have a great Thursday night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.